It's amazing how things just flip and flop with that situation. I just been watching, like, okay, we'll see how this goes.
Yeah. I mean, I was with him. I was gonna ride with him because sis, sounded like she was trying to get him.
Right.
But
Fuck that was them goddamn texts though.
yeah,
When
the
he
text.
started threatening the second accused, I was like, all right, okay.
Yeah. Then he said then the accuser talked about how he walked downstairs and what a hand towel or some shit. It was crazy. She was supposed to be painting something. He walked downstairs in a hand towel,
What?
and that's it. Like I'm like, yo,
Yeah, man.
I can't ride with this, sir.
Right, exactly. So we are live right now. This gonna be pretty much the pilot of the Tuesday episode of First and Frame Rates. We said we was gonna start doing Tuesdays and Thursdays, and this was supposed to be like a mini episode, right, Bills?
Shit, mini episode turned into a fucking full episode.
Yeah, I was just like, fuck it, we just do a whole thing, go straight through, So why not? And I know a couple of people been saying that they'll listen, and we'll see based on the feedback we get today. So myself, Bills, yourself, Bills, myself, BF Baller, DJ81. He said he couldn't make it. He had other arrangements.
Yeah, we're gonna mark his ass absent for today and dock his pay.
Yeah, $0.
Can't be having niggas just calling out,
right,
from the podcast. So,
but anyway, we got I guess you could call him an honorary member. He was here a few episodes back, and a lot of people liked him when he came through. So he's back again, filling in for DJ.
I mean, is he really an honorary member, or is he just a member that don't be showing up all the time?
I can say he's a member that don't be showing up all the time because he was with us. He was with us from day one. That's
what I'm saying.
Like behind the scenes now.
You can't really call it honorary.
This is slander. I'm
just Kid, man, what's going on with you, man? Good to see you back.
What's going on with y'all, man? Y'all took me off the wall again. You know what I'm saying? Came home, had to come home from Castle Black real quick.
Yeah, man. You know how it is, man. I should have got you back on a little earlier, man, but I don't know, man. They just got a little mixed up, but you here. That's all that matters.
It is what it is. He hit me up on the bat phone, said DJ just called out. He taking a sickcation.
Right.
Hey man, look. Like Aria said, the North always remembers, fam.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
Always remembers.
Yeah, right. So that's how we rocking today, man. Mini episode turned full episode, and the way things going with we may be doing this every Tuesday. Bills, man, what's going on with you?
Chilling, just working on more of this music shit. I'm about to start this next track with my producer K-Rock this coming week. So I know people are waiting for me to release my original music, but like I said, it's under lock and key right now. I haven't started with the marketing team, so we're just getting everything in order. But it's coming along, man. It's coming along.
That's what's up, man. That's what's up.
Yeah, man, listening to the music has been sounding good, and also can't wait for the authentic stuff to come out. But nevertheless, it's still good content. Y'all better check it out.
Appreciate it.
So,
we said so.
Yeah, but other than that, man, anybody who comes through and just want to put out a question in the chat, man, go ahead. That's what the Q&A is for. So we're gonna be touching those as we go. Other than that, we could just start ad-libbing or talk about this COD beta. Kid, I know you played the beta. I know because you play a little bit of everything. So, what are your thoughts about the COD beta, and you think it's going to be successful?
It was pretty good from what I played of it. I didn't play too much of it because a lot of times I was having a little bit of issue connecting, a little bit out, or I was dropping out. I guess it was a lot of people on that beta, but from what I did play, it was pretty good. They've taken a step in a different direction, it feels like, because the game doesn't move nearly as fast as old CODs. It moves a lot slower. It's more deliberate, and everything hits hard as hell. As far as the guns, they all hit super hard.
Right. Oh yeah, I noticed that too. I downloaded it on Xbox One, but I played it on my PC, and I just realized that I had to get the Blizzard launcher, which is that's another damn launcher on PC that I have to get.
No, hold on. Nah, DJ, don't do that. How you gonna say you can't show up to the damn podcast, but you sitting there in the
don't worry about that. Don't worry about that. I'm gonna take care of that.
Yeah. We docked your pay. Yep.
Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
Oh, you petty as hell for that. Yo, you petty as hell for that. Yo,
Don't worry
you
about it.
bad petty.
Oh, my baby crying. DJ done made him cry with his goddamn.
Nah, that was all you.
Oh,
That
man.
was all you.
You done made my baby cry, DJ.
That was all
Fuck
you.
that, DJ done did that. Here, baby. Here you go. Here you go. I know. There you go.
Oh, come on, KB3.
Come on. There you go.
Made the man upset.
Yeah, I made my baby upset with that foolishness.
Man.
No, DJ decided not to show up.
Oh, here we go. Don't blame that on DJ.
KB3 found out, so he started crying.
Yo, don't blame that on DJ. How we gonna say we a censorship? We an anti-censorship podcast. You gonna go and block his
Yeah, you need to roll up on him. Crystal gonna have to roll up on this.
Wow, that's what we doing?
Hilarious.
Jeez.
Hilarious.
That's petty. Derek Jordan was timed out by first in frame rates for 300. Yo, this shit's petty as hell.
Man, he said, hold his block, it's heavy.
Yeah, hold it for 5 minutes. Hold it for 5 minutes.
Yo.
What were we talking about? He done made my son crying
Modern Warfare.
Oh, yeah. I had to download the Blizzard app. You want mama? You want mama? Baby, I think he wants you. I know. Y'all keep talking. I'll be back. Let me take my baby downstairs.
So yeah, I was playing the beta. I told my boy it feels a lot like Battlefield 4. Like from the perspective of shooting the guns, it feels like Battlefield 4, and the hit detection feels a lot like Battlefield 4. I still feel like Battlefield 4's movement was much more fluid. But
you're not the only person that said that. I got a couple people on my friends list on PS4 that saying the same thing, that it feels like Battlefield. It has that vibe to it.
Right.
I'm not so sure. See, the thing is, Battlefield, like when you talk about Battlefield 4, it had, like you said, better movement, but also the map feel and the flow of the maps were different. I didn't get that vibe.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. So I'm saying I think it's strictly for me, the Battlefield 4 feel was the gunplay and the hit detection was on point. Like, the thing I liked about it, like I played Gunfight for a while with my boy, and I feel like Gunfight is the perfect game mode if you have a boy that you trust or anybody you're playing with that you trust and y'all just want to play and you don't want anybody else to come and fuck up the flow of the game and it's just y'all two. Is perfect. And the gunplay is good enough to enjoy the mode. But then when they added the realism mode, I was like, oh, now this is my shit right here.
Yeah, see, with me, I'm back. But me playing that kind of remind me a little bit of Rainbow Six Siege.
Yes.
That's the feel that I got from it.
It feels like the game took elements from different games.
Yeah,
it definitely does.
Because that movement definitely, like with the sprinting and everything, because you don't really sprint too far. You know, you sprinting a couple feet and you're gassed.
Yeah, so, they got that from other games. That was from some PC games. Like I know, like Insurgency has that. You can't just run. You will slow down and have to catch your breath. So I know.
Yeah, and more importantly, though, what I noticed from the beta was when I played realism, I found myself automatically adapting back to how I played Battlefield 4 with a map. Like I was really methodical. I wasn't too worried about running and gunning because usually in Call of Duty I'm a running gun guy, but I would kind of hold down the fort for a little bit, not camp, but you know, if I knew dudes were coming through there, I'd just take them out. Then I'll dip around and flank. And all these things work because the game naturally moves slower, and it just, I don't know, bro. I enjoyed all of it. The only thing I hate is I think they need to bring back the one melee kills, bro. I don't know why you hit the person with the gun and it's just a stun. Like, fuck that.
Well, the reason that they took that out is because the dudes that was knifing and it was like a little bit of an issue. But
I mean, they could have worked on that.
I don't know the way the game moves. I don't even think it would matter if they brought back one hits.
I mean, it's
And
not the worst. It's not the
think with
worst.
the,
You can
I
just
think
shoot
with
the
the gun,
person,
yeah, I
but
think with the guns, I think if you hit them with the weapon, I can understand that's a stun, but they should still continue to have like depends
yeah,
on how you hit them. It should
right.
be a one hit kill. I can get that.
I mean, I have no issue just shooting a person, obviously, but it's just kind of stupid when you think about it. We went from knives to hit the person with the gun. I mean, come on, it's just kind of dumb. But as far as the realism mode, I loved it. Points don't pop up when you shoot the person, so you got to look at the scoreboard and see
Right.
if you actually got the kill. Which to me, like a lot of times, my kills were so flush, like I didn't have to look and say, "Oh shit, was he dead?" Like, no, I knew he was dead, so I just kind of move on. And it also takes away camping a lot because these dudes can't as efficiently camp on that camping ass map that they got with all those ledges and windows and shit you can walk out on. It's not as effective when you don't have a map. So I'm gonna stick to realism mode for pretty much the entire
Yeah, the entire
cycle.
time you play the
Yeah,
game.
entire
Yeah, I
cycle.
agree.
Yeah.
the only thing I do wonder if the COD community how they're gonna actually accept the game
I mean,
because
as of right now, I know guys on PC. Some of them don't like it. They don't like the feel of the game because they feel. I've heard a lot of people when I was playing, they were saying like, "I don't want this." So these people need to go back to Insurgency. They need to go back to BF4. They need to go back to
yeah,
Armor.
see that, and that was what I
See,
was thinking when I played it. I was like, this doesn't really feel like a COD game. You can almost repackage it and say that it's a totally different game because it doesn't feel like a COD game. COD games are usually more fast paced.
yeah,
A lot of
and,
fast pace, a lot of run and gun, not very high on strategy unless you're playing on a high level.
yeah, this is the time. I know people used to always talk about this on consoles. I never really played first person shooters on PC like that, but this is the first time I understood what people say COD players versus just COD players versus everybody else. A lot of guys went into this beta that I know when I was playing on PC, they were literally frustrated because you had to be a little more tactical. These guys are run and gun, want to do all kind of crazy things, quick scope type gameplay, and they can't do that now.
Yeah, because even when I played it, it felt like the kill streaks were almost out of place.
Right, right.
Um, it felt weird, like the calling your own personal chopper and all that. It was just felt very out of place with this style of game.
Yeah.
Now, if you was playing like even from the last COD that just came out, which was which was slowed down some, but it still was it was more fast paced than this game. This has a way more grounded feel to it.
Yeah,
Which
absolutely.
I don't know if the COD community is necessarily going to like it. It might take some getting used to.
Well, you know what? I use the same logic that I use for all the sports games that people will bitch about. They will play it because they have no choice. That's how I look at it. They'll play because they have no choice. People
I don't think it's that extreme. I think they'll pretty much adapt to it. But the initial thoughts that I saw when I was playing it on PC, a lot of guys were like kind of upset that the game was playing the way it was because they think COD should be COD. But I mean, I get it, but I mean, they're taking elements like you said. You don't know if someone's dead when you shoot them. They got that from Insurgency. The running, they got that from it. So it's like they took a lot of elements from that. Plus, with the gunplay, that's more of a Battlefield, type feel. So I think they've done a really good job with the game. It's pretty much what a lot of people have been wanting Call of Duty to do ever since maybe late last generation.
All right, Pooh said the personal radar and UAV inspires camping. That needs to be raised up a bit. Like UAV should be 5 kills and personal radar needs to be 4. I don't think they need to touch the kill streaks, honestly. I mean, you got to think about it. A lot of people have the perk where you get it quicker anyway. I don't have an issue with when they get the UAV. It doesn't affect me because if you're playing on realism, that's a small part of the game.
Okay, I'm gonna touch on something else that somebody else said. We're gonna bring DJ back in since he's not here. He says Call of Duty equals Battlefield 3. I kind of got that 3 or 4 feel.
I think I like 3 because 3 had better hit detection. So
I agree with that. So I do get that feel as well. I
don't know. Battlefield 3 definitely, but like people forget Battlefield 3 was really heavy on like suppression and all that. I didn't get that from this. It felt like 4.
That is true.
It definitely felt like 4. It didn't feel like 3. 3 played totally different than 4, in my opinion.
Here's one thing. Oh, go.
No, I was gonna say because I played both of them a lot, especially Battlefield 4. And Battlefield 3 definitely feels like a totally different game. And the movement on Battlefield 3 was even faster than 4.
Yeah.
Well,
I
part of
agree.
that was the next gen transition. But I mean, the one thing I'll say about this game, they can keep that ground war shit, because if you're not gonna have destructible environments, it don't mean shit to me. I'm sorry, I'm not gonna play ground wars. I have no interest in ground wars.
I think it's a good starting off point, because for real, they had ground war before, but it didn't really work that well. The maps didn't work for it.
Right.
I mean, I think if you're gonna have ground wars, I think you need destructible environments, because the thing is, what people have joked about for years, and I've always said it, Call of Duty has felt like, for the past however many years, it's kind of just felt like paintball. You know what I'm saying? It feels like you're killing people, but you're playing paintball. It's not doing any damage to the environment. It's not legitimate war. It's kind of like paintball. So for me, if you're gonna put in a game mode like ground wars, you got tanks and shit out there, and you can't destroy any buildings, any elements of there's no point in having it. I mean, so for me, like, I'll just stick to kill confirmed and TDM. And the other thing about TDM, I don't know what it is with this participation trophy shit, but they need to put them fucking deaths on the scoreboard. I don't care who feels like they're gonna get bullied. I don't give a fuck. If you're 1 in 20, you're 1 in 20, my nigga. I'm sorry. I'm not about to sit here and look at my kills and assists on the scoreboard without deaths. That shit's stupid.
Right.
Then you go to domination. The kills and deaths are up, but the captures ain't. What the fuck kind of shit is this? It's participation trophy. Make everybody feel included. Bullshit. That's what it is. I know that's why they did it. I know for a fact that's why they did it.
I'm gonna add another comment. Rome Rush put in. No, not this one. He said his cousin is a huge Call of Duty fan and he hates the game. It's kind of like, this is kind of the sentiment I was getting with the game. It's like, I think it's a very good start for them to go in the right direction that they should have done for at least maybe 8 years. It's 2019. No, I'll say about 6 years. And I don't see a problem with it, but people are used to a certain way of playing the game. So I don't see a problem. I hope they stick to their guns, and most of the time, these companies that do these type of games usually do. So
I mean, it feels like if you play older Call of Duty games, you play this one, it feels like you going from 90 miles an hour to like 30, because it moves so much slower and it's so much more methodical. Not a lot of people are going to be used to that. They really used to running, gunning, sliding around now. The super jumping. It's not the same.
Off the wall shit.
Well, see, here's the thing. Truth be told, the people who are saying this game is too slow are the people who like those bullshit deaths where they can hip fire and run around and do all that bullshit with the knives.
My point exactly.
So it's
it was more of a run and gun type of game with modern weaponry. But now they're trying to take a more grounded and realistic approach. That's going to They had to make this move because that last game they had so much controversy and people and then their sales have been steadily declining over the past 34 years. They had to make some sort of move. The problem is I'm going to expect a day one patch to speed the game up. I can kind of see that coming.
You think?
I think so. I believe that might happen.
I honestly, this is what I'll say. If they speed the game up, I'm fine with it. Because the way I look at it, World War II was as close to this as we've gotten in a long time. So if they speed the game up, I'm not going to have a huge issue with it, but it's going to be the bullshit deaths that come with it that are going to piss me off if they do anything to these guns. I don't think there's any gun in the game that they need to touch. Like I said, I'm enjoying the game. The people who are saying it's too slow, they just want the typical bullshit deaths and bullshit kills, and that's what they want. You know, they want people to be able to just speed past a claymore because they're moving so fast they can't see it, so they can put their little bitch tactic, weaponry down and their little gadgets and shit. I mean, I'm not with it, but that's them.
Two things from Izzy. Izzy put it, say you can still run and gun. It still feels like COD to him, but overall the movement, especially jumping over walls, is smoother. So I haven't felt the fact that you can run and gun, but I don't play that way. So
you can definitely run. No, trust me, you can definitely run and gun. It's just it would behoove you to not do it on the realism mode. You can do it on
the regular mode for real. You get hit so hard.
No, I've done it.
And this is another one that Izzy said. He said he just need hardcore realism mode, and that's pretty much what you've been saying, Bills.
Yeah, I mean,
you get that, you're good.
Yeah, I mean, because they fixed everything with hardcore that I basically liked, and they put in realism. For example, no, you don't have the radar, but every time you die, they give you a kill cam, which I've been asking for. And I think Battlefield desperately needs a kill cam too. I don't know why they haven't added one, but that's neither here nor there.
This last Battlefield was kind of cheeks in a way. But
that shit was garbage. We didn't even talk about that on
here. I
here.
want to talk about that game, but I will say one thing: I like the maps in that game, but the gameplay was horrible. The maps were excellent. They could take those maps and put them in Battlefield 4 or something, or put them somewhere. They're good.
I played one game of it.
Battlefield was it's technical issues that they have. Like I tried booting that game up a couple days ago, and it still has technical issues that you can't get over. It messes the gameplay up. Like you're shooting at a guy, he turned on you and just mow you down, and then if you look back, he's been shooting at you the whole time. Like it don't make no sense. Like
I got another question for y'all. So that map with all the trailers and shit that you could like walk out on, did that map remind you of Hardline at all? Like, not the gameplay, obviously. That map kind of reminded me of a Hardline type map.
Yeah.
With all the windows and shit you can jump out of and walk out on, and the rooftops and shit. I don't know. Part of it just kind of reminded me of one of those urban Hardline maps that they put in there, which was fine. I don't have an issue with the camp. It's gonna come. It's gonna be there. You can't avoid it. But on realism, it's a little bit better. You can deal with it a little bit better on realism. So
yeah. All right. Before we finish off, unless y'all got something else added, I'm gonna put Izzy one more time. He said COD is about to be the first game he purchased full price because it's only on BattleNet, and I can't find any discounts on it. That's how good it was and fun it was for him.
I think this COD is going to bring back a lot of people that kind of got malaise over the old CODs and how they were, how the direction that they took. Now that they're going back in this newer direction.
Hopefully, it brings back El Presidor.
Yeah, it's going to bring back. It might bring back a lot of those guys, but I think the guys that some of the newer generation of kids that's only been growing up on the newer CODs, they're not
Advanced Warfare.
They're not going to like this.
Yeah, Advanced Warfare. Some parts of Black Ops, 2 and 3, and.
Yeah, like I'll put it like this. If you've been playing Call of Duty since Modern Warfare, you'll probably like this one. But if you've been playing it since Advanced Warfare, you're not. It's probably not going to be something that you're going to get into.
Oh, the last thing I'll say. The crossplay has seemed to bring the community together, which I think is dope. You didn't see a lot of, those PS4 and Xbox, supremacy type dudes.
Well, you gotta understand, when it comes to stuff like that, those Xbox and PS4 supremacy guys, they don't play games. They talk about games.
That's what I'm saying.
When they actually have to go into a game and show actually how well they play, they don't want to show that because they talk a good game, but they're not. They could think about it. Damn near every corporate slave that's out here, damn near can't play games.
Pooh, here's the thing. You're not going to catch any issues from PC people because a PS4 and an Xbox dude can't play against anybody using mouse and keyboard. They've already said that.
Yeah, I think they've restricted that, yeah.
You can only use a controller if you're on PC, so I'm not worried about that.
Right, yeah. That wouldn't be fair at all. I mean,
I've played plenty of PC dudes, and honestly, those are the garbage ones that I've seen so far.
Yeah. I mean, you got
the main issue is they don't have no aim assist.
Right.
That's the biggest hurdle right there. Right, no aim assist with no mouse and keyboard. That's a
problem. Right, exactly. If you try to get somebody who's used to mouse and keyboard, you try to throw them on a controller, there's a deer in the headlights. They can't play.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they're gonna be trash if they have to play with that controller. They're not gonna play crossplay.
Yeah.
But it is what it is. So. I'm gonna tell you guys, man, y'all can come through and ask any question that's on your mind. It's cool. We have a Q&A in there for a reason. I know there was a couple other things that you guys wanted to talk about outside of what's on the topic list. So what was on your mind, Bills, about what you wanted to talk about? I know it was something you talked about.
Aikman. 1 second. That's the first question right there. Romy says, PC or console?
As far as what?
I'm out of that. So,
I mean, as far as what? PC or console? As far as what?
I'm guessing overall experience.
Overall experience. Well, I got both, so
Mm.
I
I
can't.
can't
I
speak
mean,
on it.
I don't know. I don't have a PC to play the game. So for me, I'm just using console. But I don't.
No, I don't think he means. I don't know if he means COD or does he mean. I think he means in general,
No,
like gaming.
he said based on experience. I'm like,
Yeah, I think he means
Oh,
gaming, like gaming. Period.
oh.
I'll put it like this: if you get a PC and you got it up and running and you know what you're
Yeah, he
doing
means
with
gaming.
it, if you know what you're doing and you got your PC up and running like I do for the most part, it's almost no comparison as far as actually. It's almost no comparison when you like really playing that versus console. Thing about console is just convenience. If
Right.
you know what I'm saying, I mean the convenience of just having a console plug it and play. But like me, I mean I have an issue with my Windows 10. I mean I need to just I need to reinstall my Windows 10. But I got everything up and running where I could play damn near every console I got in here on my PC with emulators, plus the games on here with
Yeah.
very high performance.
It's pros and cons to both.
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
it's pros and cons to both. I mean, personally, I'm using console, but I'm not above using PC. I think that when you look at PC gaming in a whole, you gotta look at it from two different perspectives. It's not just gaming itself; it's what games you're playing. Because if you just playing, console games
You
that
got
are
static. You got a little bit of
multi-class,
static. I just let you know you got a little bit of static.
is that better?
Yeah, keep
Yeah.
talking.
All right, so no, if you playing on console and you just playing multi-plats, then you should probably go with console. But if you really want to try a whole bunch of new different games you never played before, PC is definitely the way to go.
Yeah, there's a lot of exclusive, and I know a lot of people like to try to poo-poo on the exclusives on PC because they're not like AAA. But there are a lot of lower tier games that on it that are actually really good.
I mean, some of the games came to PC, came to console.
Yeah,
Like Warface came to console.
yeah, Killing
Warframe,
Floor.
yeah, Killing Floor, Warframe, and Killing
Yeah.
Floor is extremely good.
Yeah, there's a lot of games, and I mean, I know there's one game everybody's waiting for. They're still waiting for Insurgency to come, but that's another story for another day. What's another question that's on here?
Pooh asked how we felt about the backup for the Panthers.
Hold on, let me see
Nah,
if I can. Hold on,
he
let me find
also
that.
He said, all right.
he,
So he said, all right. What do you think about the Panthers backup doing well this week, along with Minshew putting in work?
Okay, all right. What you guys think? I think that if Cam Newton keeps overthrowing people, he's gonna lose his job. But I think the backup did really pretty well.
I
Um,
don't think Cam Newton is 100%. To
I
be
don't think he
honest
is
with you,
either.
I
I
don't
don't
think he was 100% from the start of the season. He didn't look right the very first game I watched him. Like it looked
Yeah.
like the shoulder is still bothering.
That's probably why he's overthrowing everybody because he hasn't been looking that good.
Man,
What about you, Bills?
I don't think he's in danger of losing his job right away. I think if he comes back, he'll play the rest of the season. But I think next year there'll definitely be some conversations about, at the very least, a quarterback competition. I think more importantly, we need to look at Ron Rivera's job after the season.
Well, not only that, you got another quarterback that's there too. That's from West Virginia. They drafted, like I said, I knew it from the beginning when they drafted him in the third round. That's a problem. You don't draft a
Right.
quarterback that high, so I was kind of worried about that. What about Minshew? I think Nick Foles may be in trouble as well.
yeah, Nick Foles can't catch a break, man.
I
Yeah,
don't
he
think
really
I don't
can't.
think Foles is going to touch the field again.
I mean,
On that team.
yeah, he has a broken collarbone, so you're looking at like another 8-9 weeks.
Yeah.
Uh,
I mean, it's only been a couple games, but he did look good in a couple games that he was played. The problem is they gave Nick Foles all that money. They might feel compelled to put him back in the lineup.
Yeah, that's true. That is true.
Well-
That is true. That's true.
Well, everybody knows how I feel about Foles. I think he's a fraud, so they shouldn't have paid him not to begin with. But that's neither here nor there. Pooh asked,
I know you asked MLB.
"How do you feel?" Whoa. He asked about the
Hold on.
Last of Us 2 trailer. I haven't seen it, so
I haven't seen it either. I don't want to see it. I want to be surprised.
yeah, I don't want to see it either.
So I'm not trying to look at the trailer at all.
Did you see it, kid?
Nah, I didn't watch it. I didn't want to watch it.
Yeah, because my thing is, my wife. I showed her the very first trailer they had like a year and a half ago, and my wife is like, because she watched the first one and she loved the game, and she was like, she don't want to see anything about it either. She just wants me to play it. She's gonna sit here and watch it. And that's how I felt too, because I kind of like didn't know anything about the first game either, and I was just surprised by playing it. So with that being said, I want to go in it with that same mindset again. Pooh also asked, MLB The Show is free next month. My thoughts, personally, I think it's fantastic that the game is free at that time because baseball season is coming to an end, and usually this time of year is very popular. So I think it's perfect for them because all that's going to do is give them fan service for the next game that come out because a lot of people going to love this game and they're going to get the other one. My only problem is why the fucking ball keeps going through the bat half the time.
Yeah, I was gonna point that out. So MLB The Show this year didn't have any major jump in gameplay. It hasn't for a long time, and a lot of people keep kind of emeritus holding this game up as the best sports game in the industry, and I just can't see it. I'm sorry. They haven't made any type of improvements gameplay-wise that I can point to and say, yeah, that was groundbreaking. Yeah, that fixed that.
And to be fair, the gameplay is excellent.
Yeah.
It is.
But that's the best part of the issue. It's like it's been at the same level for so long. It's like, how can you keep going year after year after year and not fix the little issues that you have left? So it's
exactly because people don't realize that MLB The Show has been a very dominant baseball game since MLB Show 11.
Yeah,
it's been a very good game since you're talking about.
I mean, the only other closest competition that it had was that 2K game where you could hit like home runs off of damn near every pitch.
And they haven't had that competition since what, 2013?
Yeah,
right.
Much.
I mean,
like we said this a long time ago. If they fix that bat issue, and if they get the pitching mechanics from 2K, it's a wrap. There's literally no reason to make another baseball game.
And here's my other thing. This is where I will tell people they got to.
I love those pitching mechanics, by the way. I did.
Well, for 2K?
Yeah.
2K pitching mechanics was the best ever.
But that's the thing. It's like people got to be consistent when they're bashing these companies because remember, nobody's talking about MLB The Show not having online franchise those years that they left it out. They don't want to talk about that.
And the time they had it.
Yeah.
Well, when they had it, it didn't work.
Yeah, they don't want to talk about their online issues that are ongoing.
Yeah, remember when I tried that franchise mode?
I remember.
It was terrible.
I remember. So people need to be consistent.
What's the next? Here's a good one by Izzy. Izzy has a good one. Do you guys think it's time to play Haskins Jr. for the Skins? He might as well get some experience now.
No, he's gonna die. That line is awful. That line is fucking awful. He's gonna die. Do not put him out there under any circumstances, bro.
Nah, it's not. No, they shouldn't play him, man. Honestly, he's not ready. If you watch him in preseason, he looked pretty bad.
Well, let's go over that game in general. Let's go over that game from yesterday.
Oh, before you do, before you do that, he didn't look good. And if you look at the rest of the NFC East, it's still kind of open. It's too early for that. They actually might have a chance in the back, in the next couple of games because the Eagles are down. The Cowboys was the only team that's looking okay, so they still got a fighting chance to actually get back into the race.
I mean, my thing is,
listen, with the NFC the way it is, and the way the NFC is in general, being in second place in the East is not that bad because you can get a wild card that way.
My issue, and put all my disgust for Jay Gruden aside as a person, my issue with him as a coach has been the same issue that DJ has had. His lack of being able to adapt, change his play calling, notice things that are happening throughout the game, come out in the second half and make adjustments. He can't do that. I watched him call a play where Case Keenum snapped the ball from under center and took a 7 fucking step drop against the Bears. Are you serious? You want him to die? What is wrong with you? Like that is brain dead play calling. You can't do that against this Bears defense. Your quarterback will get destroyed. That should never happen. You don't have the receivers to get open. You don't have the run game to make them second guess just pinning their ears back and blitzing in and sending everybody. Why would you do that? I mean, Jay Gruden is fucking, he's awful.
Hey man, I love Jay Gruden, man. I'm an Eagles fan. Never change.
Of course. Yo. Jay Gruden has been the best offensive coordinator for the Eagles I've ever seen.
Hey man, never change, man. Do you?
All right, I got another.
DJ said left our offensive lineman one-on-one with Mac the whole game. He never rotated any type of protection over there. They even would say it before the ball was about to be snapped. Let's see if they double team Khalil Mack here. Jay's like, nah, he got it. He's fine. Yeah, okay.
All right, I got another question. Chris Thomas, to flip that from another NFC East team to another one. He said, "What are y'all talking about Daniel Jones one win against his Bucks? Because he's a Bucks fan, and Daniel Jones actually played pretty good. What you guys think?"
I think that he came against the right team. The Bucks aren't really that good this year.
Okay.
To be quite honest, like they're not really that good. Jameis is not really long to be on the team.
That brings up a good go ahead.
But he's like James not long to be on that team. I think that they're gonna be they just delaying the inevitable with that team. They trying to win, but they're not gonna be a really good team.
Basically, so the Bucks, you think basically they're just going with the flow and probably going to draft a quarterback just to replace Jameis.
Yeah, they should be tanking for Tua at this point. To be quite honest,
like the Dolphins.
Well, I was gonna say you ain't gonna beat the Dolphins in that game, so there ain't no point. You might as well tank next year for Lawrence.
Possibly, but what I'm saying, but overall, I think he came on against the right team. I'm surprised that he was able to play as well as he did, to be quite honest with you. But it's only one game. I would like to see what happens next week when they try to game plan against them.
Well, everybody knows D Jones is my guy. I've been saying this pretty much since he was drafted. I didn't really agree with where he was drafted, but the people that said he shouldn't have been drafted are just brain dead and stupid. The one thing I did say is the Giants handcuffed him by trading his best receiver. I did say that. But here's how impressive this win was. He did it without two of his top four receivers and his best running back. So to do that, even against the Buccaneers, I mean, you got Bruce Arians on the other side calling defense. They don't have the players in the secondary, but still, I mean, to do that with basically receivers you could pick up from fucking Walmart, I mean, it was damn good, bro. I mean, Eli, and everybody's like, oh, well, Eli, nothing. Eli played with these dudes for the longest. He hadn't done shit. They've had the same team for the longest time. Just imagine, and like Kid said, this NFC East is wide open. Imagine if Golden Tate comes back. What's going to happen? That's a receiver that comes back and gives him another target. Golden State is a very good player when he's motivated. Ingram is clearly a budding star at the tight end position. They do have Gallman at running back he'll suffice until Saquon comes back. I still think it's the Cowboys division, but I mean, Daniel Jones is looking legit right now. Oh, but there's one thing I do want to bring up. Now, Marcus Spears said today that Daniel Jones is better than Baker Mayfield. But hold on, though. He said this after he rasped Baker Mayfield for playing against lesser competition. Mind you, Daniel Jones played against the Buccaneers. So where's the consistency here?
Right.
After a game? After one game?
Right. I mean, but my feelings on Baker Mayfield is like I don't think that he's as good as people think he is. I think he's okay.
No, I think the problem is they like his attitude, and they just want to try to put that in front of the TV for everybody. Like, hey, look, it's another feel good story of a guy who likes to have fun and dance and look at us.
He has that quote unquote swagger about him.
Right.
But I don't think that. But I still don't think that he's very. I don't think that he's like very good right now. I think that he's getting game planned against, and it's showing that he's getting game planned against because he's been struggling, and then a lot of times if you watch him in the pocket, he's hearing or feeling pressure that's not there. Right. He's getting rid of the ball way too fast, and guys aren't open. He has two top flight receivers on his team. Two.
Who is
Baker Mayfield?
Baker Mayfield. Yeah, he has two top flight receivers on his team. Plus, the third guy can be a budding star in his own right. He shouldn't be worried about pressure right now. They should be worried. They should be trying to run the ball and play off that like the Rams do with Jared Goff.
I'm gonna reserve judgment until Kareem Hunt comes back. Now,
I get you, but I understand what you're saying, but he already got a lot of talent all around him.
No. I feel you, bro. I feel you, but Kareem Hunt is a top 5 running back in this league, bro. So if you get Kareem Hunt back and you're still having these issues by week 8, week 9, Okay, yeah, maybe he's
See,
not nearly as good as who we.
we'll
I'm
see.
just,
But I mean, when you got Landry and Odell, it's like
I feel you.
it's hard to say that Kareem Hunt is the guy that's going to be the answer.
I don't think he's gonna be the answer, but I'm saying we haven't seen this team as they're gonna be when Kareem Hunt comes back.
but quiet is kept, man. That loss of Zeitler might have been a bigger blow than people think because
Yeah,
their O line has definitely been having problems.
Yeah.
right.
Over these past
All right,
couple of years.
I'm gonna skip Pooh's question real quick. Matter of fact, yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and go to Izzy real quick because Pooh's question is a little bit longer. It's gonna be a longer answer, so I'm gonna go to him first. As a fan of the sport, I want to see the Cowboys versus 49ers NFC Championship. I also wouldn't mind seeing the Cowboys and Chiefs in the Super Bowl. Coming from a Skins fan, thoughts? Personally, I would like to see my team in the Super Bowl, but I don't know if that's going to happen. But as far as the Cowboys and Chiefs Super Bowl as what it is on paper, it looks good. I think it'll be a good Super Bowl. I'll just leave it at that. What do you guys think?
Fuck the Cowboys forever. That's how I feel. I'm an Eagles fan, but I mean, personally, I would love to see the Chiefs go to the Super Bowl, just off the strength of Andy Reid. I really want to see Andy Reid get one because he's been in my opinion, I think he's been a top 5 coach in the league for a long time who just does not have a Super Bowl.
Well, this is as good a time as other to bring up what I was going to talk about. So, basically, somebody put up a stat about Patrick Mahomes. They said Patrick Mahomes has 33% of the career touchdowns that Troy Aikman had with only 8% of the time on the field as Troy Aikman. So, Troy Aikman responded and said, "Talk to me when he has 33% of my Super Bowl wins."
I ain't really got much to say about it. I just think
I don't know how to feel about this because on one hand, this is Troy Aikman pretty much spitting in the face of everybody who's ever called him a system quarterback and things like that. But on the other side, it has a little bit of legitimacy. I mean, Mahomes hasn't really won anything yet, but I don't know. I mean, I don't think the stat was a knock on Aikman as much as it was just propping up Mahomes.
I see. All right, look, it's not even a fair comparison though. Like
it's not.
You're talking about 2 entirely different eras. Like if you look at if you got to look at the percent, you got to look at how the rules were when Aikman played versus how the rules were when Mahomes played. You blow on one of these receivers too hard, you're getting the flag.
But here's the thing, though.
Yeah, that's true.
Here's the thing with Mahomes. Mahomes transcends era because that's just how good he is.
I don't know.
So when we talk.
I'm sorry. I don't know.
How do we not know this?
I don't know about that, dog, because it's not the same era.
Mahomes has a golden arm, bro.
All right, that's
I get it. I really
get it. I
personally think it's just too early.
Yeah, it's way too many variables.
Well, you can't really say it's too. We're not really deeming him as anything. I don't think it's too early. We're not deeming him as anything.
Think about it now. Think about it. People were saying this about Aaron Rodgers 5 years ago, and everybody say Aaron Rodgers is still talented, but nobody's praising him like they used to.
Right.
But the reason they're not praising him like they used to is because his team has devolved into a shit show. But at the same time, he was still carrying them to, near the playoffs. Here's where I hate the comparison. This is where I hate the comparison. I hate the comparison because we never saw Troy Aikman without Emmitt Smith, but we didn't get a real indication of what Troy Aikman will look like without Emmitt Smith, without that offensive line, without that killer defense.
Yeah, but bro, that's all well and good, but the problem is so many different variables within this comparison.
I'm agreeing.
I mean, yeah, because you got to think about it. Just as early as 6-7 years ago, playing quarterback was way different than it is now.
Yeah, like go away from the personnel for a second. If you just look at how the game was played between Aikman's era and Mahomes' era, it's totally different. You had in Aikman's era, you can kind of say Tom Brady would fall into that section a little bit because he played in that era where it was a little bit more physical on receivers. They changed that rule because Ty Law and them boys was getting physical on Peyton Manning's receivers. They changed that. They changed that rule how receivers can be played, and they changed it a lot, and they opened the game up a lot.
Yeah, and I think if you flip that, I think he has the arm to put the ball anywhere, but the ball can't go. I mean, if the guys are getting jammed up, these completions.
Oh my God, it was like a mugging. And you get mugged on the field.
But here's the thing, though. On the other end of the spectrum, you got to think about how hard it is to do it in this era with defenders and defenses that have way better schemes to stop him from doing what he's doing. Regardless, that's
a legit question because the schemes are different now. I'm gonna be devil's advocate. So what can you do when nobody can touch, nobody past 5 yards, or can't even hit them going across the middle?
Well, what did the Seahawks do?
Look at them now.
Look at them now because they don't have any of those guys, though.
But you know why? One is.
Well, they got injured.
Exactly.
What do you mean? You know why? Because they got injured.
They're playing that style of ball. I mean, Cam Chancellor literally killed off his neck for hitting people that way.
But what I'm saying is, I think the stigma, and it's not you guys, I'm just saying in general, the stigma that you can't play defense in this era. I think teams like the Rams and teams like the Bears make it just look like people are making excuses. I think if you don't have the talent to match the offensive talent, that's the issue.
That's not what I'm.
No, I know. That's why I said it's not you guys, but I'm saying in general, when we look at this, I think Troy Aikman just does not have the volume of stats to even look and compare them to talent-wise. I don't even get where the comparison really comes from. I just think one day somebody was like, hey, let me look up a stat for Pat Mahomes that I can go and put up, and this is what they found. I think Troy Aikman gets a lot of unnecessary flack because Troy Aikman always played great in big games. Even if you want to call him a game manager, which he had talent that clearly superseded a game manager. If you want to call him a game manager, well, fuck, he did his job great. Hand the ball to Emmett. You throw the ball maybe 20, 25 times. You don't turn the ball over. You're the most accurate quarterback out there. Even if you don't have the most arm talent, you always put the ball where it needed to be. So I think Aikman gets a lot of unnecessary flack. I mean, look at the people who go and prop up Terry Bradshaw, but they're gonna give Aikman flack.
Yeah,
it don't make no sense.
That's fair. 2K Football Now said Mahomes equals 5/Rodgers. I can agree with that.
No.
I can agree with that.
No.
Anyway, I got one more question. Well, I didn't say one more, but we have another question.
Wait, before you move on, I have an issue with people saying something about Brett Favre, man. I think Brett Favre is hella overrated as a QB. I mean,
I agree.
He is hella overrated as a QB. If you look at his passing, if you look at his touchdown via interception numbers, everybody try to excuse that as him being a gunslinger, which is ridiculous.
Yep. I hate
it. But if you look at some of these other quarterbacks that got the short leash, then why don't they get the same leash as Favre got? Because they do the same thing. Like, perfect example, Jameis Winston. Gunslinger mentality, as people like to say.
But 2K Football Now, let me ask you a question. Let's throw the stats out the window and let's just watch Patrick Mahomes versus Brett Favre. Who are you taking decision-making wise? I mean, let's be honest. Pat Mahomes is making better decisions with the ball in his second year starting than Brett Favre did in his 7th year starting. Name one game where Patrick Mahomes is throwing the game away for his team. Name one.
I think, if I'm not mistaken, Brett Favre touchdown to interception ratio is just at about 50%.
It's at 50%. I don't think it's a good comparison to say Mahomes over Favre or Mahomes equals Favre.
You can't compare Mahomes to anybody.
But the mix between these two, him, Favre and Rodgers, I do see that. I can see that.
Really?
Yeah. I can see it. I can see the gunslinger mentality with the pinpoint accuracy of Rodgers and the arm strength. I can see that.
So let me ask y'all a question. Since everybody's saying that Favre was so good from 94 to 2000. See, here's my issue. When we talk about quarterbacks, we don't hold them to the standard of winning that we hold the receivers that we don't like when they talk too much. That's my issue. So when we talk about Brett Favre, he was good from 94 to 2000. Let's look at his stats. He threw 14 interceptions, 13 interceptions, 13 interceptions, 16 interceptions, 23 interceptions, 23 interceptions, 16 interceptions. And I'm just looking at these records and 11-5, 13-3, 13-3, 11-5. Mind you, this was in a division with two teams that were basically a lost cause. What did he win? And we can't say the Packers didn't have talent. I don't want to hear that. So when we're propping up Brett Favre,
I'm not propping him up. I just made the
no, not you, but I'm saying
I just agree with
in
2K
the chat.
now. That's all. I just agree with 2K now.
No, I'm saying in the chat.
I'm not praising him. I'm just saying.
No, I'm seeing people in the chat. I'm just trying to figure out what we're going based off of. I mean, he was a horrible decision maker, and people put that as a gunslinger. Just like, well, it's like when Stephen Curry shoots horribly from the 3-point. Well, he's not scared to take any shot. It's not a bad shot for him. No, it's a bad shot for everybody. You don't say it's a bad shot because it goes in most of the time. It doesn't mean it wasn't a bad shot when it went in. So we need to.
You can't tell Park players that.
Well, if we're gonna hold Brett Favre, if we're gonna hold quarterbacks like Peyton Manning to that standard, right? Let's look at the bad losses in Brett Favre's playoff career. Are we serious? He lost to the Giants.
No. He
lost to the Saints, in which he threw the game away. I mean, come on, man. So I agree with Kid. He's severely overrated.
No, I can agree with that. I mean, I'm not saying that he's not. I was just agreeing with 2K now, man.
No, I feel you. But I think at the end of the day, I think the closest comparison to Mahomes.
Closest comparison to Mahomes in general, like one to one. There right now, there isn't one.
That's what I'm saying.
It's still early. I'm not trying to put him up higher than anybody else right now, but the way that he's playing the quarterback position, I haven't seen anybody who can actually move around, sling the ball this far, put up numbers like this, and it's.
I haven't seen it. Really, honestly, if you think instead of comparing him to somebody like Michael Vick, because I think he's a better passer than Vick. Honestly, he reminds me of Randall Cunningham with his ability to scramble.
Oh, you know what? That's a good comparison. And I didn't even think about that because if you see some clips from Randall Cunningham back on the Eagles, very similar. Outside of the no look pass, it is very similar. I
hold on a second. I'm with you, but hold on. I gotta address something. This dude Romy Rush is coming with this Brady slander, and I'm not.
All right. I'll be back. I'm not about to hear for this. I'll be back because I already know where this is going. I'll be back when we're ready to talk about 2K Untouchable. I'm gonna let Bill because I ain't got it. I'll be back.
Do you want to talk about this first, Kid?
Nah, man, you got it. It's all you, player.
Does anybody else in the chat find this completely and utterly ridiculous? Do I have to address this?
You shouldn't have to. I mean.
Okay, that's cool. All right, so Brian. Okay, that's I'm not even gonna get into it because that is so. Okay, Pooh. Yeah. Okay, bro. That's insane. All right. What was the next question? Because I'm not even entertaining this today.
Well, you ran VF off for a minute.
Well, I'm gonna look for another question because, like, what do we? Fuck it. Let's get into it. So when we look at a system quarterback, right? You're talking about the 5-yard dump offs that receivers take to the house. When's the last time Edelman took a 5-yard dump pass and took it to the house? When's the last time Gronk did that? When's the last time anybody did that? I mean, you're talking about system quarterbacks, but we've only won with Tom Brady. Let me give you a history lesson, Rome. Bill Belichick was going to get fired in 2001. And then Drew Bledsoe had his fucking spleen ruptured, and the rest is history. Tom Brady came on the field, and Bledsoe touched the field for one more game, and not even one more game, like a quarter of a game, and finished the game against the Steelers in the AFC Championship. That was it. That was the end of the story. So when you talk about a system quarterback, you're talking about a dude who, when he got a number one receiver, a legit number one receiver in Randy Moss, he broke records. That's a dink and dunk quarterback. You might want to go look at the film. Because that's a hell of a system quarterback who could throw for 5,000 yards in his sleep and who had 38 and 13, and people said that was an off year. That's a hell of a system quarterback. And this isn't even coming from a Patriots fan. This is just coming from somebody who could never. How would Brady look behind any other offensive line? You do know that we haven't had a good offensive line in years, right? You do know that we're swapping out pieces. We have 3 offensive linemen injured right now. We haven't had a true Pro Bowl offensive line since back when people called Brady a game manager. Are you serious? Like, what are we doing right now, bro? Like, I don't get where this is coming from. Like, where is this coming from? We lost Nate Solder and we won a Super Bowl. We won 2 Super Bowls.
To make a long story less long, Tom Brady isn't Trent Dilfer. So,
he's not Trent Dilfer. He's not Brad Johnson. He's not. I mean, when you're talking about game managers, we're talking about Trent Dilfer. We're talking about Brad Johnson. We're talking about Jeff Hostetler. We're talking about players like that who won Super Bowls on the back of their defense. And nobody ever looked at them like a threat or even had the game plan. They either had a crazy run game, a crazy defense, or both. So I don't get where you're coming from with that. I keep hearing you said those Super Bowls were forfeited. What are you talking about?
Don't feed the trolls. don't feed the trolls, because that's definitely a troll comment.
All right, man. All right. Can somebody ask another question, please? Anybody?
Yeah. Move to the next question.
Anybody?
All right,
please.
Y'all still on this?
Nah,
fam. I'm not on it anymore. I can't even entertain this. I can't even.
All right, so y'all want to talk about the actual topic that's next, the 2K thing?
Yes.
Y'all ready to touch that?
Y'all continue to drop questions if you want.
Yeah, we'll touch them. I'll keep a track of them. We'll get on those. But I had a conversation with a few guys on Twitter, and I mean, I'm not even going to go all into that, but the logistics of that conversation was basically, we're gonna bash Madden so we can get another game, or we can get the NFL to basically recognize what we're saying out here in these streets. Now, ever since Kid didn't even know about this, so he's a deer in the headlights, but I already know what he's thinking. Ever since 2015, 2014, we've been saying the company that actually needs to make the game, we need to go after them. And nobody wants to talk about the fact that they don't care. But it's much easier and cooler to bash Madden, and in some cases rightfully so. But some people are too cool to do that because the popularity is there, instead of being a gamer and actually trying to get another game. I feel like with consumers, if you really want something, I feel that you need to go at the source that's causing the problem, because as we see what's going on with Madden's making money. They don't give a damn about if the game is sim or not. Let's just be honest. We're fine. People like us are finding our way to enjoy the game for what it is, but they're not pushing that shit. They make $800 million, almost $1 billion a year, off of one mode alone. So they don't care about that. So with that being said, why do we feel that 2K is so untouchable to this criticism? And I'm going to ask the Kid first, because he's the guest and I already know where he's going to go with this.
Right. I don't understand why this is even still a topic, and why is it such a topic of discussion? Because 2K hasn't shown any interest in making a football game in years. So what's the point? So it was like, all right, we're gonna bash one company to make another company who has no interest show interest. That doesn't make any sort of sense. Plus, on top of that, if you look at how what both companies are doing within their own respective markets, Mad makes too much money on MUT, like you said. 2K makes way too much money off just basketball. They have no desire to make another game because they make too much money just off of basketball. Well, so what is the point? See, I don't for me, I look at these old tired arguments, and you see how people just bash the game and bash the games and bash the games because reasons at this point. It doesn't make any real headway. You
I mean,
got
the only headway it makes is you may get more people to subscribe to your channel. You may get more people.
of course,
I ain't gonna say may because we see people in the community now. They're banking off of it, and I'm
of
not knocking
course.
nobody making money. If that's what you want to do, that's cool. But we have to be really honest about what are we doing. Are we doing this just because you want to be popular, or you honestly want
But
another game from
but
another
they're
company?
doing a lot of those guys are doing it for self interest, which is fine. I'm all down for self preservation, and try to get your money. But
Right, right,
like
exactly.
that's cool. But you gotta call a spade when you see it.
We're the OGs, Bill. I mean, not Bills, but DJ. Oh, not DJ, but damn kid. Fuck. Where the fuck
Right.
DJ at? Um,
So
we're the OGs. We were here when we weren't doing this for money. We weren't doing this for popularity. We literally wanted another fucking game.
right. I mean but it is what it is at this point. So why do you keep arguing for a company to keep coming back? Like, and there's no guarantee that if 2K came back that the game would be good. That's the
That's
thing
true. That's another
and
thing.
that's the thing nobody even talks about. Like, it's no guarantee that the game will be good. Like, you're talking about making a game on an entirely new engine because if you bring back that old engine, it's going to be very noticeable. They haven't made a game in how many years now?
Yeah,
11 years?
it's been 11 years. Yeah, 12
Yeah.
years.
So so what you want them to
It's
come back?
really been 12 years because it's 2007 when it came out.
Right. So you want them to come back with a game on an old engine? Then in 2019, when even Madden is running a modified engine that
Of the
plays better.
and matter of fact, that engine is basically modified from the 360 from Madden '06.
Exactly. So that you don't you gotta remember and think about what you're asking for. I don't think that this game is gonna if 2K was to ever come back out, it's not necessarily gonna be a guarantee that it's gonna be a hit. It'll sell because people are gonna buy it because it's 2K, but it might not necessarily be that good.
But see, my thing is the reason why I say this is a perfect time to say this, and I didn't want to rehash this until that conversation came up. My problem was you have other companies like Axis, you have a company like Maximum, you have other people who are actually well, they're scamming people for making a game. They're claiming that they're making a game, but they're scamming people. But you have these people out here that are actually doing something. But you have $1 billion corporation that's known. Their 2K Sports is known for what they do, and they know that there's a demand out there, and they don't listen to nobody. And on top of that, the same people who are screaming about how bad Madden is not even using their voice to go at this company.
Right. I want to address something that Rome said. Because he's saying people are frustrated with Madden being the only option. The only option was taken through a monopoly rather than being beaten by the competition like 2K or NBA Live. The problem is with that statement is you got to remember at the end of the day, it's business. Like if you was to give me an opportunity, if you gave me an opportunity to pretty much buy out my competition, that's what I'm going to do. I'm
And
going
let's
to
be
buy
honest,
out my competition.
it wasn't EA Sports that bought out the competition. That was the NFL that did that.
Right. So
No,
if
y'all don't understand that the NFL itself, they don't do multiple deals with different companies. Everything that they do is exclusive. The beer, the credit cards, the jerseys, the shoes, the Bose headphones. Everything they do is exclusive. This has nothing to do with just, oh, they like EA. They just do exclusive stuff with everybody.
see, here's the thing. If you look at if you think about it, it's not like y'all. It's not that it's a monopoly. The fact of the matter is the support for smaller companies that do make football is non-existent because those games generally, I mean, I hate to sound harsh, but they suck. Like on field. Now, they might have some really good ideas for off field, which is basically like management and franchise mode ideas, but the on field generally isn't that good. The reason why it's not that good because making a football game is hard as shit. Just to get the AI down to run the plays that they're supposed to be ran, it's hard as fuck. So not too many people can just come out. Not too many independent developers can come out and just make a football game. Is a very difficult process. And I don't know if you ever shared this, but we had a conversation with an independent dev, me and VF. We was
Oh
on.
yeah.
We had a Skype
Yo,
conversation.
shout out that dude because he was a really cool dude. I wonder where he's at.
Yeah, so like he came to us and that other guy who we shall not be named right now,
Yeah,
and all
we
three
yeah.
and we were on the phone with this man. He
He broke it
had
down.
he
He
broke
told
it
us.
down.
He told us exactly what he needed.
Yeah, he broke it down. All because you're not using because they're independent, they can't use motion capture. They have to animate everything by hand. Also, they have to script how these plays are supposed to play out.
So right,
Create
with
the
that being
AI.
said, those two things. What you need not computer pro. You need not computer programs. You need computer engineers for the animations, and you need people that can draw because you got to draw them because there's no motion capture.
Right,
So
and then on
that
top
alone, you need that alone.
exactly. Then on top of that, you got to have some sort of knowledge in the sports in that arena of football to even make these things play out the way that people think they should play out. It's very difficult. It's actually easier to develop a basketball game than it is develop a football game.
And that's another. The baseball game is even easier.
Exactly.
That's why MLP the show is so damn good.
That's why you see so many of these independent developers make baseball games quicker than they can make a football game.
Another game that's really easy. The golf game. Damn near every golf game comes out is like fantastic. What
right.
do you think? But with that being said, it's like Bills. I know you haven't said anything. What are your thoughts about 2K quote unquote being untouchable? Nobody wants to go at them to make a game. But I mean, like if any other thing, when you go talk about, consumers wanting something, they'll go at that company if they want it. You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, who did the Democrats blame when Hillary lost? They blamed the third party voters, right? So why would you blame 2K? If you come out and start blaming 2K, it hurts your image, which everybody's worried about on the internet. So if you've been out here white knighting for 2K for the longest time, and all of a sudden you come out and say, "Hey, 2K, we've been sticking up for you the whole time. Where's your game at?" It will make them look weak. I mean, they're weak from the beginning for white knighting for a company, but I mean, they're too far in now to change up their flow, to change up their tone. So they're not going to do it. The second thing is, the more something is absent, the longer something is absent, and I'm starting to see this about Jerry Rice, the more it's romanticized. The longer Michael Jackson is gone, the longer Michael Jordan's gone from basketball, they're romanticized. They're looked at through rose-colored glasses. And that's the issue with 2K. 2K's gone for the longest time. They're looked at through rose-colored glasses. You got people who haven't played 2K in years. They still think the game is amazing and had no flaws. They go back and play it today. They say, "Shit, this is dated."
Of course.
But they don't want to do that because,
well,
like
I mean, listen, that's another thing. I mean, don't get me wrong. I like 2K8. I like 2K5. But a lot of people don't want to talk about those flaws. If one, they're gonna say it's an old game. Of course, it has flaws. But then again, if it's an old game and of course it has flaws, we just need it to be, keep that same energy across the board.
But that's what I'm saying. They look at it, like I said, through rose-colored glasses because 2K's been absent for so long. So they just assume 2K can just come back, make a game, everything will be hunky-dory. That's not how it works.
Yeah, I mean,
that's not how it works.
I don't think a lot of people don't realize, because you got a lot of people who are around making content now, and like soft drink sports. I don't have a problem with them, but when he comes around, and he's making his content. He is mad popular right now. He has a lot of subscribers. He has a lot of views on his videos.
Yeah,
the problem
videos are very well produced.
Yeah, they're very well produced. They do very well. The problem is when he comes back down to earth, he's wondering why things happen the way they are. I was like, yo, you maybe was around back in 2013, 2014, but you got to understand the community that you're in. The moment that you try to praise something and you thought your creative idea was actually a good idea, it maybe is. This community is not going to be acceptable to a pro Madden or anti 2K or anything like that. They're just not going to be that.
There's no such thing as a middle.
Right. There's no such thing in the middle. Why do you think we catch a lot of heat for what we do here? We're going to give it to you honest. Does Madden 20 has problems? Yeah, but we're not going to tell you that every fourth or every third play you hike the ball, there's an absolutely problem.
Well, we talked about this. We talked about this a few episodes ago. There's no gray area in anything these days.
Right.
There's no gray area in anything. It's like one side or the other. There's no.
Because that was the initial problem with the conversation I had on Twitter. It's like, yeah, you want to say Madden is trash? I'm like, yo, the game's not that bad. Yes, it has franchise issues. Yes, it has glitches and bugs. But if you play the game straight up for me, like what I do, I play 15-minute quarters with the 16 accelerated clock. I get very accurate stats to what you see on Sundays without the problems that people post on Twitter all the time. That's just a fact.
Bro,
the game is not that bad. Yes,
I see dudes calling NBA 2K20 trash.
Yeah, before we even get into that, because I think Gamer Champ 23 he had a good question. Would Sony ever make a football game? And I think that things get lost because everybody just goes straight to 2K. But there was a whole bunch of companies that made football games.
A lot.
None of them are coming back, and there's a reason for that.
And a lot of people don't know the reason why the football exclusivity just got right on the cusp of next gen consoles. I don't even know if I talked to you about this, kid of Bills. A lot of people don't realize when the exclusive license came up, what was coming out at the same time? The 360, the PS3, Microsoft, Sony. Who else was making games at the time? Konami.
Konami was making them, yeah.
Yeah, you had like 4 or 5 different football games at the time. What EA did was like, look, here's the NFL. We're going to get with the NFL to make our license exclusive because the NFL is looking for one bidder, and at the same time, they basically pushed everybody out because, like, look, you don't want to spend the money to make another game on a new console. You know, you're gonna have to pretty much build everything from the ground up.
Price of the brick went up.
Right. You got to build everything from the ground. And guess what? EA did. EA basically took a bare bones engine and put it on the 360, and this is what we got as of right now. They didn't necessarily build from the ground up. They basically took a modified version of the PS2 engine and just put it on the on the Xbox 360. That's why you see the same damn animations from those games.
But I'll say this.
Now the PS2 does run better. The PS2 engine runs better, but you see those same tackle animations from PS2 still on these consoles to this day.
But here's the thing. I'll say this real quick. All the people that are complaining about this exclusive license with EA that 2K doesn't have any access to, remember this. In basically every other walk of sports gaming, 2K took their ball and went home. So remember that when you're bitching about an exclusive license. Remember that in baseball, there was no exclusive license. They took their ball and they went home. Remember that in hockey, there was no exclusive license. They took their ball and they went home. Remember in boxing, there was no exclusive license. The game was just ass. They took that deflated ball and they went home. So when we talk about 2K always not getting a fair shake and oh my God, why are they not making a game? Oh, it's because of an exclusive license. Just remember all those other sports games where they took their ball and they went home. That's all I'm gonna say.
Well, I mean, to answer his question more directly, I think that if Sony was, I don't think Sony would make another game as far as football. If they were, they would have done it by now. At some point, because it's not, but for real, they're not going to do it because it's not profitable. At the end of the day, it makes no sense for them to do that. They sponsor, like Sony is money behind a lot of games. They sponsor, publish a lot of games for a lot of different companies.
But the thing is, they know what's going to
exactly.
They know what's going to give them what they're going to get on the back end of it.
Like Sony's the only reason why Street Fighter V came out because Capcom had no money at the time.
Yeah, that's true.
So. Like, if they wanted to just make a football game that was exclusive to their console, they would have done it. But it's just it's no money in it.
All right, let's look at a couple of these comments real quick. Brian Scopper says 2K has done shit for football gaming community. They won't make a game for at least another 5 and 10 years. Y'all are right. Who the fuck knows if it will be actually good? This is the thing. We talked about this a while back. Didn't I put up the 2K NFL 2K5 rosters.com? They know that it's a demand out there, and they know that people want. They see SFL doing their thing with APF. They got a whole league. They know. Trust me, 2K knows. They're not dumb, and if they don't know, people that got connections to 2K know, and I'm pretty sure they have told them, look, these guys are still praising your football game.
Know.
Why don't you do something? And
they know. They got Shake on payroll, man.
And Shake
was part of the fucking Sim standard, man.
Right. A lot of people don't know that. Everybody thinks Shake is a basketball guy. No. to the core, Shakedown 2012 is a football guy.
Oh, and hold on.
He's a football guy to the core. He's not this basketball guru y'all think he is. Y'all can ask him to this day. He'll tell you. His roots are from Madden.
And one more thing. Let's remember 2K also took themselves out of the sweepstakes by dropping the price of their game that year.
That's true. That's another story for another day, but that's absolutely true. Another person that's not around as much no more, but he's very prominent when he shows up. People listen. Regular Dave. He's another one. Everybody knows him for his GTA stuff and all this other stuff. He got like 50,000 subs, but he's rooted in the gaming, in the football gaming community. He's one of the guys that started out wanting Madden be
It's
better, and Y2K's not around.
yeah, we've
A
been
lot of people don't know this. A lot
yeah.
of people don't know this.
I'm actually showing how long I've been around. Like it's a lot of dudes that people kind of just they hear about now, but they've been around for a while. They don't stay in the same avenue no more because it's nothing. It's no point in fighting a fight that is unwinnable.
A lot of
It like you had like it was Shake versus all them like all those old
Shake
people that
versus-
had that one channel because they all came together as a conglomerate, made one channel, and they was posting all kind of content. The
It
reason
made
why
a
they
lot of noise. It
and
made
made
a
a
lot of
lot of noise. And the reason why they don't do that anymore is because the company that everybody keeps trying to champion doesn't want to be your champion. So why keep fighting for something that's not going to happen? It doesn't make any sense. You have to go a totally different route.
Yeah.
Start saying something to another company. Like, hey, Sony, you used to make game day. Like, why not? Maybe Sony, maybe
Good point.
maybe Sony would make a game, but nobody's saying nothing to them about their game. So hey, fuck it. Why should I put my hand up and y'all don't care about me?
And let's not forget this. I don't ever forget that Rex Dixon came and said, "Look, y'all companies can make a game if y'all want to. So go ahead and make a game." Has anybody answered the call?
No.
So there you go.
No. You know who answered the call, honestly? And I don't know, Kid said what he said about him. I gotta give props to Axis. I gotta give props to Maximum. Maximum actually looks like it's gonna be a decent football game. I mean, it has a lot of tendencies from NCAA 14.
It's just rough. It's just rough gameplay wise.
Right.
That's all.
They got a lot of good tendencies. So I mean, but at the same time, you still have this company up here that can actually do something a little more than these guys can, and nobody wants to talk about them.
Yeah.
I'm gonna ask this. Well, this could be a part of the Q&A, so I'm gonna ask. Put this one out, and Brian put, how much do you think the NFL license costs? $100 million for 5 years, man. You're talking about $25 million a year? Absolutely not. I think it's more than that.
It's probably way more than that now.
You gotta think about it. Yeah, you got to think about it. Back then, when they first got the license back in 2004, it was already said that they were paying more than $50 million a year for it back then. That's in 2004. They were paying $50 million a year for it back then, and now you're talking about. You also have to take into consideration, why do you think that they're trying to make so much money off MUT in this superstar mode? That could be to compensate for the license. The license is probably like really, really expensive right now. I can believe maybe $100 million a year minimum.
I'll be honest. I don't think they're paying for the license anymore.
That's hard for me to believe.
I don't think they're paying for the license anymore.
Not because of EA, but I just know how the NFL rolls. It's hard for me to believe that.
I get it, but at this point, I don't think the NFL even has that leverage to charge them for the license anymore. I think this is past that point. I think if in 08, 09 they still wanted to charge them, that's fine. It's way past this point.
Well, I mean, you got to think about it.
I don't think they're paying for the license anymore.
It's an advertisement vehicle. I think I get what Bill's is saying.
That's what I'm saying. They're not paying for the license anymore.
Yeah, I think I get what Bill's saying because, like, for real, if you're the only game in town, how you gonna charge me?
What are you gonna say? We'll go to 2K. No, you're not gonna fucking go to 2K. We'll go to 989 Sport. No, you have EA. They're not paying for the license anymore.
So basically, what you're saying, the fact that they're the only ones making the game, nobody has any build of a game or anything.
Nobody has leverage.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, the NFL can't go to 2K and say, "Well, shit,
we need a game next year."
Yeah, I mean,
right,
it can't happen. Everybody's bowed out, so I don't think they're paying for the license anymore.
That's a good point. But if I had to put a number on it, I would say at the bare minimum, $100 million a year minimum. It'd probably be more than if you have to put a number on, because
they doing something. I mean, they paying them something. I just don't think.
Static.
Oh, my fault.
God damn.
All right. NFL, not NFL, but 2K Football Now said that the 2K in the NBA is $1.1 billion over 7 years. The NBA,
how do we know this?
I heard somewhere that it said it was something like that. I heard that somewhere. So I mean, he didn't just get that out of the wind. I saw that on Twitter somewhere. I think it's when
I'm not
right,
doubting him. I just wonder where
yeah,
it
like
came from.
right before it was right before the WNBA was announced in 2K20 something. I've seen it around that at that time of the year. But NBA is different. They may not have that kind of leverage like the NFL and EA may have against each other because you do have NBA Live, and I don't even think that the NBA deal is exclusive. It's just the fact that the NBA just have. I think it's somewhat like a marketing deal with NBA 2K or something like that. It's not exclusive. I do know that.
I mean, Chris Thomas. I mean, you're absolutely right. You said if 2K football was out, they would have a MUT. The MUT model is Madden. The problem, like these next gen consoles, and 2K8 now is out of date now due to the schemes of the NFL. I agree with.
I don't.
I agree
Well,
with
I can
that
agree, but now
to an
I will say,
extent.
I will say one thing. All Pro Football 2K8 has still to this day has an excellent playbook for their teams. That's
Yeah,
one thing
but
I will say.
here's the issue for me with 2K8. Every playbook's the same. I hate that.
That's true.
You should have distinct playbooks for each team.
I
That's
agree.
another thing that makes the game just it's not replayable to me.
I
I
agree.
have no
Don't get me wrong.
replayability.
You're right. Don't get me wrong. The playbook that is in the game is very
Yeah.
good. It's very good, but it is for every team. That is true.
I
Yeah,
mean,
it's just repetitive. I mean, how many times can you run those plays? There's so many plays with post routes. It's just I can feel them on that. It is kind of outdated. There's no real way to run a West Coast. Yeah, it's. I mean, 2K5's playbook is better than theirs.
Because you know what? You know why? Because 2K5 actually has different playbooks for different teams.
That's what I'm saying. So I think that's the key there.
Let's
Uh,
I'm gonna hit Brian Skiba real quick because
Make sure
sorry
those
for me.
routes are play calling some point for.
He said the license must be so damn expensive that nobody will enter the market of football gaming. It may be just not profitable to share the market with others due to the barrier of entry. That could be another. That's if like what you say in bills is not true and there is money involved to keep the license. That is true. Even if a company could afford it, is it really affordable?
I think it's more so. I think it's more so what Kid is saying. I think it's just so hard to make a football game. I mean, you got to think about it. There's not many sports games you can find where you have to basically have every interaction, like every physical interaction between players have to be different. Like even in a boxing game, a jab is a jab. You know what I'm saying? We haven't seen a boxing game yet where a jab lands in the left eye, sometimes it'll land in the right eye. You know what I'm saying? A jab is a jab. A hook is gonna land, how it's gonna hook, how it's gonna land. So it's like with football, it's different because you have to take so many factors and angles and trajectory of the ball. So it's difficult. I don't think people want to get into that realm if they're not sure they're gonna make money. And more importantly, Madden's been at it for too long.
like it's a huge barrier of entry, man. Just from the ground level.
Yeah, I'm saying it's not even about like if you have a game ready. It's just that the
Yeah,
money involved and the license, you got to put so much behind it as well.
yeah. I mean, if you look at even with sports, like as far as like that has no exclusivity deal, the reason why that they're leaving it up to like one company to do it because it's probably just too costly just to make on
Yearly.
that level. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just way too costly to do. Like, if you look at just 2K, like EA is competing against 2K, and 2K is a juggernaut right now in basketball.
Yeah.
And like we can say how much I don't even like live on certain levels because of how the game plays, but it's still EA. They have a bunch of money behind it, and they still can't overcome that hill at all.
And I think what it becomes is the company decides at what point are we going to decide whether we want to put the money into this game to actually improve it. Is it going to be worth it? Because Madden could decide, hey, we'll put up the money, we'll give you a new engine, all those running animations and shit you wanted, all the ball physics, we'll give you that. But for what? I mean, Mud is making them loads upon loads of money. So why should they do that? What is the benefit?
And
that's the thing. This is what I was saying about the game. I mean, if you think these videos you're making is actually going to have them to say, okay, we're going to make a better game, or these other companies, you got to twist it because you got to think about it. I'm not even going to talk about Madden because I haven't heard on anybody post it, but I posted it on another video. I mean, another live stream episode we had earlier this month. Somebody already put $1,000 up for 2K20, and the game was only out 3 days. They put $1,000 in the game already in 3 days. So could you imagine what they're doing with Mutt? For every save 65, you got to tell 10 people to do that for one purchase.
But see, let's go back for a second. Everybody thinks that we brought upon this shift in gameplay in Madden 12. That's not true. What they did was they organized a muzzle system for us. And by organizing a muzzle system for us, basically they took people that were like us and they institutionalized them. And when you institutionalize people that are like us, and then those people that were like us come back and say, hey, I've talked to the company. They're actually really good guys. They actually really want to make a good game. Here's your 3 and 5 year plan. That's how we got to where we are now.
That's why I've never understood the Game Changers program.
Everybody believes that.
And I just didn't never understand it. I didn't really care for it because you're not going to sit here and tell me that Joe Blow on the couch playing the game, it can go to the dev with these unbelievably new ideas and they never thought of them before.
And this is what me and VF said. Why do you need it? Yeah, if you need people to tell you how to make your game, you shouldn't have your job.
Yeah, we've been saying this
for years.
As soon, to be honest with you, as soon as those guys went down to the EA, we had an issue with that. I was like, wait a minute, let's be real. We appreciate the community / dev feedback stuff, but let's really think about this in reality. If you got some guys that's sitting at home having to tell you how to make your game don't stand a chance.
Yeah. Right. So what did it end up? Yeah.
It's like if you're a reviewer, right? Let's say you're reviewing movies or something like that, and you're reviewing movies for Sony, and then Sony says, "Hey, we want you to come down and just review our movies, and just our movies," and you go over there and you deal with them on that level, you're probably going to feel compelled to give them favorable reviews because they're giving you perks for it.
I got you. I got you one more. If they told you could watch those movies for free,
right?
How you gonna say that the game? How you gonna say the movie's out? You didn't pay,
right?
And this is not an indictment on any of the game changes. We're not coming at them as people. What we're saying is the engine. Yeah,
we don't hate them.
No,
we're just thinking of reality.
Engine.
Hindsight after 2012, 2013, when they went down, a lot of these guys are starting to see that now. But we saw it back then. But we see it now. Like
Ben said it.
Yeah, we've been said it was like if these guys really have to go down there and tell these guys how to make this game, you're better off just like not even worrying about the game getting better. And that's not a knock on them. They're not programmers.
Somebody ought to be fired.
Yeah, the Game Changer program. That's almost like, and I know how you and me feel about Czar, but that's like if you need Czar to come and tell basketball dudes how to put freelance sets in the game. That's all they did. They took somebody from the community. Every company now does this. They take people from the community that are trusted voices of the community and they muzzle them so that it turns into, that's why they call these guys influencers. And I was one of the first people to pick up on that when I said, oh, wait a minute. They're not even game changers. They're social media influencers because they're influencing your perception of the product. That's why they're called that. That's why they're called influencers.
And this is the thing. When you dealing with that on top of Mutt and you talking about what these casual guys just want to play with their favorite player, we're making this content for what again? We're trying to change what when we're up against that? And I'm not saying to be pessimistic, but we just know the reality, what it is. And look, listen, I'm going to tell you, if I got $800 million of doing something and I got a few guys over here telling me I need to change that and I'm making that much money, the motherfuckers are going to kick rocks. I'm gonna make my bread.
And moreover, for people who think the Game Changer program is for us, why are there Mutt players that are game changers?
You know what? I had somebody, and I'm not gonna mention their name. Somebody tried to tell me that QJB, no disrespect to him.
QJB
Somebody told me QJB, and who's the other guy that was oh, I can't remember. He's a Redskin fan. Oh my god, I can't remember.
Oh, Anto the Boss. Go ahead.
Anto the
Anto
Boss.
the Boss.
Somebody tried to tell me that those two guys are sim guys, and they're going to help.
Uh-huh.
They're going to help make. They're going to help make Madden 15 the best sim game ever. I promise you, this person said that. I'm not even gonna put their Smitty. I'm not even gonna put their name out like that.
The same dudes when you go to their channel and you watch their gameplay that they have like way back in fucking June. It's the most arcadey shit ever. They're not playing on sim. They're playing on competitive or fucking arcade.
Let me tell you something. To give credit to Anto the Boss. Anto the Boss was one of the first people I seen that update the rosters to NFL 2K5 and had an actual series with that game. I give him props because he knows what a good game is. But for you to tell me that he's about to go down there and do what?
No.
Exactly.
No.
Exactly.
No.
Anto, that's how I found Anto the Boss, because Anto the Boss was a big Redskin fan, and he the one that really was one that went to NFL 2K5 rosters.com, downloaded those rosters. I'm pretty sure it's still on this channel. He had a good bit of games during the series, and he had to stop because the rosters that he kept updating, not the rosters, but the franchise mode he was doing with those rosters, it bricked the game. The game would not go further after like year 2, week 5 or something like that. So he was like in week 5 of the second year, and based on how the rosters were, he couldn't go further. So it was to me, I thought it was a very successful and innovative thing to do. But for you to tell me that they're going to do that, go down to EA and do what the Sim Standard's trying to do,
bro, we got dudes that are basically revealing whole blogs on their fucking channel. You think those people are going to say anything negative about the product? Well, I'm sorry. Do you think anybody's going to keep their video up that they said some negative shit and keep that same tone? No, they're not, because they know what they're losing. They're losing the game that they love so much, getting it for free every year. That's
let's switch gears real quick. I'm not going to leave this topic. It's still on this topic, but it's going to be another part of the Madden 2K thing. Gamer Champ 23 said, with the PS5 coming out next year, you mean to tell me that we will still use the same?
Of course,
absolutely. Why not?
Why would
you spend money for when you're the only game in town?
Let me ask you a question.
Why do you think they didn't change from the 360 to the PS4 and the Xbox One? Gamer Champ,
let me ask you a question. Has McDonald's changed their burgers ever?
And they're not even exclusive.
Ever?
They're not even exclusive.
Why would you change? Has KFC changed the chicken? Has anything changed? No, they don't need to, because they're first in the clubhouse, bro. They got a lead. They're lapping dudes right now. And I just said it. The engine costs too much for them to go and say, let's. I mean, come on, bro.
Put it like this.
Building a game engine is not like what people think it is. Like, you hear that get thrown around a lot. Like, this needs a new engine. This needs a new engine. It's not that simple.
Yeah, you can build off this, kid. When we were talking about that dev we were talking about earlier, what did he say? He said it took a minimum of 5 years just to get it up and running.
Right.
And this is a 1 year turnaround to implement it. Because you're putting out a yearly title. I mean, it's not going to happen.
Exactly.
It's not.
Exactly. Like, you have to, when you build a game engine, let's say you even take an existing game engine like Unreal 4, you still have to repurpose that engine to make it do what you want it to do. That takes time. A lot of time. And
why do you think we don't hear about Frostbite that much anymore? Because they were never going to go further than what they initially did. That's why.
Right.
They were never going to go further. They were never going to go further with that, because they don't have the time to, in 1 year, completely overhaul the engine and have the game playable and have the game damn near, I mean, acceptable for everybody. When you release it in August, it's not going to happen.
Usually what happens is, when these new games come out, they're run on the same engine, but what they try to do is they try to take certain animations out and replace them.
And
it makes it feel newer than it actually is.
They try to put new animations within that new engine. Well, not new engine. They would put new animations in the modified engine to make it seem like it's new. But Madden, you can see the old code that's there from back in the day. You can still see it. Like what else?
That's what Madden 25 was. Madden 25 was, we put in new running animations And when you put, that's the thing, we talked about this. When you put in difference with movements, like when you put in different movement animations, it makes the whole game feel different because movement is really the baseline of every sports game. So once you do that, then everything feels different. Oh, the game feels so different. It's just movement. It's just movement. I mean, yeah.
The thing is, like we was talking about earlier, when oh man, I can't remember that guy's name, the dev that we were talking to. He said you have to get all these people to the engine. You don't need programmers, you need computer engineers to get this thing running. You got to get people that do motion cap, or you have to get people who can draw. You also have to get the coding right within. You have to get talented engineers that can get the coding right for it to work properly, where certain outcomes supposed to happen. And then once you get that together, you got to make it work for so many scenarios. He said to get it up and running, just to get it up and running is a minimum of 5 years. So,
Yeah.
I mean,
all tight. You gotta write out all this code. That's a lot to do.
okay, I got another question. This is what Pete F. Shout out to Pete. Thank you for coming through, man. He said, why are some of these game changers allowed to get early access and sell their cheese books out the back door?
Cheese ebooks.
Because that's what Madden wants, and they're catering to their community. They're catering to their fan base.
That right there tells you exactly, Bills. That right there tells you everything you need to know what their fan base is as a whole. You got to understand, people like us on First and Frame Rate, the Sim Standard, hell, borderline, I guess you can say, Ryan Moody. These guys we want simulation. We're very, very niche. Most people want to play casual. They want to know why a certain play can work against every defense.
Right.
You will never see me or VF say, hey, thanks to EA for giving us a copy of the game early. We're going to show you how blitzes work in the game, and we're going to show you how to counter these blitzes when you're dropping back. They don't give a fuck about that.
Right.
Yeah,
They don't want to hear. They don't want to hear, hey, oh, well, shit. When you know, when they're in nickel, this is who the middle linebacker. They don't give a fuck. No. Get your fucking cheesy ass playbooks out there so you can be a tournament gamer and you can go and exploit the game, and that's all they want.
I mean, it's been like that for years though, man.
That's
like,
it.
Like it's been dudes on YouTube doing that for years. Like first person that comes to mind is the dude Madden Bible. He's been doing that forever.
Yeah,
and he's part of the game. And he's actually on the higher end of the game changers now.
Yeah, because like Madden Bible and who's that, Z Farls and all of them, they've been doing it.
Why you think every time you see 2K gameplay first, like in May, that shit's ass? Because whoever's playing, they can't play. They don't want people like us to play the game first. Because we're gonna tell them, y'all need to fix this. And we're gonna tell our followers, you need to fix this.
But the thing is, Bills, even if it is fixed, we're going to play straight up like real basketball. They don't want to advertise real basketball. They don't want to advertise real football. The first thing they did, they want you to be the next Patrick Mahomes and throw 70-yard bombs. When the average quarterback who playing real legit football, they're just trying to get it across the middle without the quarterback getting
2K wants.
Well, let's keep it real. When you have, you know, average gamer number 2000 get on your game and be able to throw 70-yard bombs and look like they're, you know, a professional gamer or looking like they're really good at the game, it looks good on the company.
Yeah, of course, because all it does has other people thinking, hey, I can do that too. I'm gonna go buy it.
Yeah, like it makes it good.
How many of us you see sitting there? I can't wait till this momentous trailer drops. No, none of us give a fuck about that. But 2K knows that most of their audience does. That's why they put out all of these fucking tweets about what color do you want the shot meter to be? That's the type of shit they care about.
And they don't. Why the fuck the shot meter's in the game to begin with?
Because they need it. Because it's a training wheel for the people who play the game and don't know shit about basketball. Bro, you have to remember, a lot of these people that play these games are casual fans of the sport. They play it because their friends do. They play it because it's the cool thing to do. They play it because it's the two most popular sports in the country.
The things I'm tired of hearing. I hear it all the time, and my nephews do it. Oh, that's green. That's green. That's green. That's green. I'm tired of hearing that shit.
Yeah.
I don't give a fuck if it's green or not. If the form is wrong, it should be a miss shot.
I mean, bro, that's what it's about. It's about getting the game and finding the best way to exploit it. And then if they can't exploit it, then they'll bitch about it. And good old Twitter Mike will come around and say, "Hey, it's okay, kids. I got you, kids. I'll make the fucking the shot meter magenta, and I'll make sure that everybody's sliding out of position on defense and a bunch of blow by. I mean, that's how it is.
I have a few more. This is not necessarily a question, but this is something that we kind of debunked earlier, but it does have a point. Right here, 2K Football Now said they just have to do enough for people to keep buying. No, you don't realize that now with Mutt and My Team and all that, if they can get one person to spend $500 on Mutt and stuff, that compensates for X amount of copies that other people don't have to buy.
Fam, they could put out shit that was Madden 11 level, and as long as those fucking Mutt cards are still in the game,
you got cars that's going to buy the game.
Of course.
So I mean, I don't get
if
wrong.
You pre-order it before you see gameplay. I mean, dudes are that's why I talked about 2K years ago when they were showing the receipts of people pre-ordering the day it became available. There wasn't no trailer, there wasn't no gameplay. People are already pre-ordering. When you have people like that are so ingrained that they'll pre-order before they've even seen anything, of course, you don't have to make the game better.
I'm not DJ, but Kid, you got anything to add to
that? I mean, it's not really much else you can add. Like, it's the way these games are. They're monoliths. They're institutions. So if you're gonna tell me your institution doesn't know what they're doing, and you feel like you need a person from some random Joe Blow like me getting off the couch and go and tell some developer to probably watch the game more than even I do how to make this game, it's something wrong there. It's just the lack of common sense is doesn't make it. It's ridiculous to me.
All right. I got another question. This goes with 2K. PDF said even if they made a new engine, who said it won't be completely suck anyways?
It would suck because they wouldn't have enough time to put the game in a position where it was playable because you don't have a 1-year turnaround where you completely overhaul an engine.
I'm pretty sure you're talking about Madden. I wouldn't say either one.
That's what I'm saying, Madden. Yeah.
I mean, if they was gonna make a new engine, they would have had to start back in 2014.
The closest we've seen,
that's just for the game to be out for Madden 20.
That's just for the game to be out. That's just for the game to be out on next gen.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Yeah.
The closest we've seen is NBA 2K14 on both consoles. That's the closest we'll ever see, I think, to a true transition of boom. Here's a different engine.
Yeah, and I don't know how they did that.
I don't either. That was miraculous.
Yeah, that was crazy how they jumped from 2K14 PS3 to 2K14 to PS4. It's like
that's because they had them dev kits early.
How early you think they had for them to make?
They had to have them dev kit. The industry insiders know a lot sooner than we do. But
I'd say 5 years.
They had to have them dev kits no
5 years,
no earlier than 3 years. I'm saying
I'd say about
3 to 5 years.
2010, 2009.
Yeah, I'm thinking like 3 to 5. I'm thinking between 3 and 5, right? But the reason why, if you look at the new PS4 and the architecture anyway, it's kind of like a computer. It's more based on a computer system.
You know what? That's another thing.
Than it is.
That's another thing. The PS4 and the Xbox One basically are computers.
Yeah, like they're pretty much computers. It's not like how it was on PS2, developing completely differently.
Yeah, because when you had to develop games on the PS2, original Xbox, PS3, Xbox 360, you actually had to develop a game.
Right.
You had to make it cater to that particular console. With the PS4 and Xbox One, not so much. Like I said, it's basically a low budget PC.
So Rome asks, if the majority wants casual, why do we even fight? We don't.
Hold on. Stop. Before you do that. Let me find that because I want to put that on it. I want to put that on the screen.
It's right below 2K Football Now's comment. Brian Skiba says, I wish the Vision clone would come back, but that would never happen due to the complaints of how hard it is for most people.
Okay. All right, now go back.
Yeah,
so the indicators to casual, so it seemed pointless to fight for simulation. You go ahead and go first, Bills.
Yeah, I mean, there's no point. I mean, we as a community a couple years ago had come to the point where we weren't really even talking about this. Now, all of a sudden, it's a topic of discussion again. But the topic of discussion is the reason it's a topic of discussion again is because this brings up a question that we asked a long time ago. What if Madden addresses everything that we've asked them to address? Then what? we're there now. Except franchise mode, as far as gameplay, we're there. Madden 20, we're there. So that's why
one thing I will agree, everything that pretty much they asked for gameplay wise, I think they've done a really good job of doing it.
Yeah.
You do have the bugs and the glitches in the game, but as far as everything that we've asked for, they've actually made some type of effort to put it in the game. I will agree to that.
So that's what I'm saying. It's like leading up to this year. That's why I was like, what are they going to address other than fixing issues with the game? And of course, you saw that's what they did. They essentially just went and fixed it. Now, of course, they created other issues, which RPM they completely eliminated for the ball carriers. That was pretty much after the first patch last year. But more importantly, like I said, everything from man-to-man coverage to pass trajectories to quarterback throwing animations to running animations to tackling, you name it, they addressed it. So now people are starting to dig and dig and dig and dig and pry and pry and pry and dig, and so they can find something to bash the game about. As far as gameplay is concerned, they don't really have anything valid.
Right.
So that's where we're at now.
Pete F said most complaints are things about the game that don't function. Yeah, it's not about gameplay. Yeah. They're trying to figure out why this quarterback is just running all over the place. Nobody's tackling nobody. It's like bugs, and 9 times out of 10 you find out they're playing online, where that adds another layer to confusion to the game itself.
Yeah. Like this reminds me of that term that we came up with, like a joke a while ago. It was called sim casual.
Yeah.
Simcade.
Yeah. So what, like, the reason why I don't fight is, going back and forth, because for real, if you think about it, if companies go too left towards arcade, then the game won't sell, because ultimately casuals don't want that arcade experience. They want a simulation experience to an extent. They only want a simulation experience that they can still be dominant in and be the shit. Like, they don't really want a true simulation experience where you actually have to struggle. It's instant gratification.
And let's remember, Clint said, well, we can't have high snaps over people's head and fumble snaps, because we have to remember there has to be some type of fun factor to the game.
Exactly, pretty much, yeah.
Get the fuck out of here.
And so, but it's the problem. So when you think about it, the problem is when they go too far towards sim, then they get pushback from casuals. It's a fine line that EA is trying to walk. I don't fight about it no more, because for real, even they know they can't go too far towards arcade, because if they did, they wouldn't be making sales. Why do you think NFL Street doesn't exist anymore?
Yeah.
Like
it can't be too over the top. It has to be within the realm of reality.
It has to be within reason.
Yeah.
It has to be reasonable.
That's even why they patched the Pro Bowl, because that shit was out of control.
Right. So everything had to be within reason. If you make things way too arcadey and way too easy, then everybody's going to say this game sucks. And that's the problem with other simulation games. People want the things to be realistic. They think that's what they want, but they just want to be dominant in a realistic, in a simulation realm.
Yep, that's why we haven't gotten realistic passing in 2K. That's why we had running taken out of Madden. That's why we don't have high snaps in Madden. That's why even in NHL we don't have true puck physics. All these things are because they talk about the fun factor.
You got to think about it. When 2K 15, 16, 17, those games were like, they were like trying to get the game as sim as possible. Then all these people on the park started fucking with the game. Now 17, 18, 18, 19, and definitely 20, they're trying to cater to these casual dudes when we're like this close to getting a complete sim out of 2K basketball.
Yeah, I've come to the point now where I know that I'm never going to get a complete 100% simulation game. What I would expect is something within the realm of reason of simulation. Yeah, at least this way, I can at least play with the way I want to play. And if you want to go out there and run the score up, throw 80-yard bombs and all that, just give me some sliders to allow me to play the way I think the game should be played.
And that's basically
and I'm good with it.
That's basically what we had to do for the past 8-9 years. Shout out to
Right.
Chowder 04. Sim Standard do their slaughters. Bills do his. I did mine for NCAA 14. It's like Neo does his. You have to do it because we're, to be honest, do you if you want to make these videos and you want to, get popularity like that. But you have to understand that they don't give a fuck.
Well, and here's the other thing,
They
DJ.
don't.
Well, and DJ made another good point. We said this also. The quick to fun theme is a lame idea. Honestly, it absolutely is, because think about this from a perspective of an online gamer. These motherfuckers are playing 5-minute quarters, accelerated clock. How quick to fun do you fucking need to be? That game is short as it is. So that means you have to start walking up to the huddle as soon as you pick your play. You have to start walking up to the line and shit like that. I can't walk up and see what alignment they're in. If they're doing no huddle in the game, it's absolutely just fucking warp speed. There's certain things that it just doesn't make. That's like. That's almost like if the fucking computer scores on the game in 2K, they score a bucket, and y'all motherfuckers already bringing the ball down. Without you even passing it in, they're just bringing the ball down already, and you start at half court. And they're like, "Here you go ahead, pick your play." No, it makes no sense. Like certain shit like that, it makes you wonder, where is the line between fun and sim? Because I think a lot of people that claim they want sim, they don't really want sim, like Kid said. The people that claim they want arcade, if they get too much arcade, they don't really like arcade. And the people in the middle that just want something like us, they just want something that they can work with, and maybe we'll get it closer to sim. We get that, and then one of the other two sides fucks it up. So it's like the people in the middle who are like, yeah, just leave the sim elements in there that you have. Just don't take anything out, and we'll be fine. We can't even win.
Yeah, I mean, we can't. I mean, they gave us a sim mode, and then and they just left it be. They didn't. One thing I didn't like. I don't see the fact that they didn't really enhance any of the modes that they put in from Madden.
Of course, what's so different about simulation and competitive other than the fact that there's stamina?
Right.
They talk about the way the animations play out. I don't see any difference. The game don't move any slower. It moves at warp speed this year. Why they took game speeds out, I'll never know. Because the game moves at fucking just warp speed.
Hey, you better watch it, man. People out here saying that we don't talk bad about this game.
Well, of course, because they listen to what they want to hear. They listen to what they want to hear, bro. All they hear is us talking real about 2K. So when we talk real about Madden, they don't listen to that because that's not going to help their agenda. They want to draw us up as EA stans and 2K haters. That's not how it works. If you come here, you're going to get the true, unadulterated feelings that we have about these games.
Yeah, we've been like this since NWO late 2015.
We've been like this for a grip. It's not going to change. I mean, these games need to be, these devs, not even the devs, these companies need to be held accountable for how they handcuff their game by submitting to these fucking casuals, bro.
I mean, not only that, it's just what bothers me is, and I mean, we're getting some more Q&A if you got any more questions. My thing is that you had a very good foundation with certain games. Certain games had a good foundation, and they just run away from it. Madden 25 was a good foundation. 17 wasn't all that, but it was good. Even with Madden 20, Madden 20 is not a bad game, but it's just, why do you let certain things just get in the way? It's just, if you want to make a game for other, me personally, I don't see why they can't do this, but why don't they just make a separate game for MUT and give us just a regular football game? I don't get it. I mean, they're making hand over fist. I don't see why not, but that's a whole nother topic. I mean, anybody else got any questions?
I'm wondering. I mean, that is a good topic because it makes you wonder what it would be like if they kind of split the dev team in half.
Yeah, but I mean, honestly, they're not gonna do that.
Well, of course they're not. But I'm saying,
they're not gonna do that, dog. Like, it doesn't, because for real, it doesn't make fiscal sense. Because why would you split? Why would you split one for one? Yeah, you split your fan base. Secondly, you can potentially cannibalize your other game.
Yeah.
And on the last token, it's like, why would you go through the extra cost to advertise it?
It's a reason why a lot of these first-person shooters have all their modes in one game.
Yeah, like it would
You know what I mean?
it would cost you more to advertise it. So it's like
But
if
you
it
know
costs
what
you,
though? But here's what's interesting: is Call of Duty didn't exactly do that, but they did have Blackout basically by itself.
Yeah, but you had to buy the whole package to get it though.
No, Blackout was free to play.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
true. That's true. It was free to play.
Blackout was free to play, but you had to download the whole suite. So it wasn't like you
Yeah,
could just say,
true.
"All right, I'm just buying Blackout." You know, you still got the full game, which you just had to unlock it with pay with a
Yeah.
purchase.
True.
That's all. You can isolate a mode.
Right.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, which actually might be a really good idea for Madden. That you might. I mean,
Yeah.
honestly, that would be
Yeah,
the way
you're
to
right.
go.
I mean, if you're going to just give us the package deal, just isolate one from the other, and it just feels like a totally different game within a game.
Do you like? I don't think anybody from I don't know. Somebody probably had this idea in EA, but if you think about it, if they said, "All right, we're going to give you Madden Mutt mode for free, just free to play," and the only thing you got to do is pay for the cards, you know how much money they would make off of that? They're making a whole bunch of money now.
That's $60 extra off the rip that they don't have to pay for.
Exactly.
You see what I'm saying?
So now all they got to do is just download it. You still get the full Madden game. But hey, we got franchise mode here too, and all this other stuff. So now, if people that wasn't thinking about buying Madden, probably will buy it because they like Mutt and they play the game. They like, oh, I like this.
Hey,
Right.
and let me tell you something.
Actually, pretty brilliant.
Let me tell you something. I'll tell you what you won't see. You won't see on the Mutt game an advertisement for franchise, but you'll sure as fuck see in franchise a goddamn advertisement for
Let me tell
Mutt.
you, they still do that. It's not even in franchise on fucking Madden 20. You cut the game on. That's the first thing
You cut the fucking game on. You exit a game. Hey, come and pick up your cards. Fuck you.
No, that's just so intrusive. Like, yo, they need to stop that. Like DJ said back, no means no.
Right. out here, fucking raping, trying to rape my pockets.
Right. Y'all don't got any questions, man? We gonna close it out.
Somebody
man.
gotta have a question. Y'all just sitting here listening.
Right. If y'all ain't got no questions, man, we gonna slide out because we didn't touch the topics. I mean, we didn't do our picks yet. You know, DJ's not here to defend himself if he got any picks wrong. So I mean, we can't do our picks.
Yeah, we can't review the picks tonight. So
yes, we have to do that on Thursday. So
I mean, we'll stay if y'all. Wow, what? Why is VF running a sweatshop?
Yo, man.
What is this about? Yo, you forced it. Yo, you're so fucking awful, bro. You asked for questions and he asked you questions.
Yo, you know I waited for you to read that before I did that, right?
That's wrong. That's so wrong.
Yusuf, what did you ask, bro? You said I've been avoiding.
He said I've been y'all avoiding. I hope it's a good question because I know Yusuf. Yusuf good people, but I know he be saying.
I'm scrolling up. I don't see anything.
I had to time out that shit. He tried me again.
That's fucking awful.
I'm
looking. Yeah, what did he ask?
I don't know. Whatever, man.
He said,
he didn't.
I'm not. And for the record, I'm not running a sweatshop.
Oh, he asked, "Where's why?" He called DJ Disc Jockey.
Who is this guy, man?
Wait, who the fuck? Like, is this like a Get in Burner account or something? Like, what the fuck is this? fucking sim community version of KD or some shit. Like, what is this?
I can't. I'm asleep.
I mean, I'm trying to figure out.
I know in the beginning. We could touch on this, kid. Before we started, I know you said you wanted to say something about AB. You want to talk about that before we go?
Let's
Oh well, I mean, where do you start? I mean, I want to hear what you think. I want to know what y'all think about this situation because he literally only had about 2 weeks on the Patriots before they said, you know what, that's enough.
I think the problem. I think he done himself in with the text. He should have just shut the fuck up. He would have still been playing. Now he'd have probably got in trouble on the back end, but he would have been there for week 2, probably week 3, Probably week 4.
Vision Cone is it's not.
No, Vision Cone has been. I'm sorry. I'm gonna put this up real quick so you can see this. Look at this fucking picture, man. I just noticed this picture of Yusuf. I know this is not his picture, but that's funny. But Vision Cone has been officially been said is not in the game. It's not there. We've heard this from many people within that works for EA, people that's outside, people who have connections to EA. Vision Cone is not in the game.
Is that David Robinson?
I don't know who that is. That shit looks funny as fuck.
Yeah, fucking ashy ass lips. The fuck he been doing? that nigga look like his mama had. That nigga looked like he had his mama sing. His mama had him singing hymns for 4 straight hours while looking at his damn lips.
All right, kid, you want to keep going with this AB thing? Because I feel that they should have just took his phone and he could have been playing maybe 4 or 5 more weeks. It probably would have caught up to him. But when he put the text out there, I think they kind of done him in.
Yeah, but see, like his teams are still interested in him now. He said he's not going to play in the NFL no more.
That's hard for me to believe.
Yeah, I find that hard to believe too. But I'm wondering what team would actually take a chance on him, because it's not so many teams that would take a chance on him at this point.
Oh, if the Patriots got rid of you, yeah, that's kind of like a bad stigma.
He burned 2 of the most forgiving franchises in the league: the Patriots and the Raiders.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm gonna be honest. I think the Patriots pulled the trigger a bit quick, and the only reason I say that is because
possibly.
The only reason I say that is because I'm looking at Tom Brady and the rest of the players' reaction to it, and I think that they know something that we don't. And Tom Brady is not one that speaks and goes to bat for people that get released from the Patriots, so that speaks volumes. AB having stayed with him for basically 2 weeks, him and his family. I think they pulled the trigger too quick.
Okay.
I think
I just think the text messages did him in, because once that got out and people perception of the not the community but the public knew, they found out that he sent intimidating text messages to the accusers. That would have been a bad look for them to keep him.
I mean, I get it, but
as far as the actual what he did do, I can see where you're saying that they probably was premature, because it's still not. You're still found not guilty. So I get it.
Well, have those text messages actually been revealed what was said, or is it just hearsay? Because
I get it, but the problem is the fact that he texted them after the article came out. It's just a bad look. I'm not disagreeing, but it's just that the perception, the public found out, he did what to what accuser.
That's why Tom Brady said a lot of people's perceptions and they judge too quick and they don't really know what they're talking about, which is what I said about the Steelers situation, where everybody wanted to bash him about the Steelers situation. I think people judge really quickly, and the Patriots pulled the trigger too fast, and the players clearly liked playing with him. He was never an issue at practice. They said his excitement and his energy was infectious with the team. So to get rid of him, I just think it's ridiculous.
I mean, in this day and age, man, it's just the accusation.
Yeah, but I mean, LaShawn McCoy and Tyreek Hill had way more damning evidence, and they didn't get released.
Yeah, it's true. But I
mean, Big Ben. I mean, come on, we can go down the list.
I think not only that, and I get what you're saying, but not only that, you got to think about who's been in the spotlight since he went to the Raiders in February. He's been in the spotlight with so many other stuff, negative or positive.
Yeah,
but the way he's been perceived throughout this entire summer, it's kind of like the straw that broke the camel's back. Yeah. It's not. If he never got in trouble with any of this, he didn't have the issue with the Steelers, he didn't have the issue with the Raiders, and this just all happened at one point, and this was the only situation. He probably would have got the benefit of the doubt. But let's go back to what we're saying. What team would you think would pick him up? Because that's actually an interesting concept. I don't know. I'm just trying to think.
I'm gonna say what team will pick him up. The Ravens.
Oh, you think so?
His cousin's already on the team. Mm-hmm. I'm sure Lamar Jackson is going to be a big proponent of that. The Ravens aren't scared of bringing in players with some baggage.
Well, that's true, because they was going to bring in Colin Kaepernick, so that's true.
Earl Thomas flipped his coach off when he was getting carted off the field. They didn't give a fuck. Come on over here, get this money. I mean, so I he'll be back in the league. He's one of them dudes that impulsively. That's one thing I can't stand about it. He impulsively posts on social media. It's like his life, and I'm a big proponent of not emotionally posting on social media. It's yeah.
I think once it died down, I can see him going to like a lower tier team. I don't think it'd be a contender.
I definitely,
Um,
I really think it's gonna be the Raiders.
I can see him going to a lower tier. What you think, the kid?
I mean,
There's two kids over here. Yo, I saw that shit. I saw that shit swiftly get deleted. I'm like, as soon as you started talking, it's like, wait a minute. Yo,
What you think, kid?
oh,
if a team, it's injuries in the NFL all the time. So for real, if a team is desperate enough to pull him in, like a team that's on the cusp of going to the playoffs, I can still see him getting picked up. I don't think he's going to get picked up until the back half of the year.
What about the Chiefs?
The Chiefs, I doubt it.
No, he's not going to the Chiefs. No,
I doubt the Chiefs because I don't think they're going to need help. Receiver.
Not only that, you also got to think about they already dealt with backlash with a sexual assault situation with one player already, or like a female male type situation already. I don't think they want that
again. Yeah.
I mean, like once everything is cleared up, because it's not a criminal case,
right?
It's straight civil.
It's straight civil.
The problem is he's not playing it very well in the public eye, so nobody's going to want to be around that.
And that's why the Patriots got rid of him, because he wasn't playing it right. I think
people were talking San Francisco too.
I can see that. I can see him going to that team, but I don't know.
I mean, it's hard for me to tell. It's hard for me to say about San Francisco for real. Like they could pick him up, but for real, will they even be in a position to even make a significant impact for to even get him?
Shit, yo, DJ brought the smoke. So again, don't know a goddamn thing about anything. Asking what a cover 3 is. Well, if you ask him what a cover 3 is, most likely he'll either block you, or he'll say, "Well, I wouldn't know what cover 3 is in Madden because I can't run it in Madden because the game sucks." And then he'll wish his hairline came back. But anyway,
shade.
Shit. Yeah, he wish he had some shade on his forehead, but he can't have an afro, so ain't nothing. Anyway, I just think with AB, I do think that a contender is gonna get desperate. And by the time we get to December, November, December, I think there'll be a team that says, "All right, we'll go and we'll pick him up for this stretch, and we'll see what happens."
If he's not on the exempt list, I can see it happening. You know what? Y'all stupid, man. Y'all stupid, man. Even though what he said was factually incorrect, y'all stupid, man.
Oh shit!
Y'all got anything else, man? I think it's time to slide, man.
Oh, come on, Doug Thomas. You just came, man. Oh shit!
I'm sorry.
Yo. There's only one thing left to do.
Nah.
There's only one thing. Left to do. We did it to DJ, so come on.
Yeah, that's true. Hey, I'm not saying not do it. I'm just saying I think it's about time to slide. Y'all got anything else?
I think that's everything, man.
Yeah, I don't got anything else.
Hey, man, let me tell you something. I appreciate everybody who came through, man. We was up to like 15, 16, 17 viewers. It may not seem like a lot, but for a Tuesday, and we just came out the blue and said, hey, we're going to do this. It really means a lot, and the turnout was great. I think that we're going to continue to do this if DJ's not too big. Well, hell, even if DJ's busy, me and Bills, we're good. Yeah. I think the Tuesday is somewhat of a sweet spot. I think we can actually talk about, like we did other games outside of sports. I think we did good with that.
Mhm.
Q&A, that's another good thing. I think we can do that on Tuesdays as well. Um, I appreciate it. I think everybody coming through, man. I really do. The normal guys, Chris Thomas, Doug Thomas, Tadal 52, and even you, Yusef. And I really,
yeah,
you
yeah. Yusuf sitting there trying to type "thank you for letting me come."
right. And kid, I really appreciate you coming
Oh
through on last
shit!
notice because DJ couldn't make it. I really appreciate that,
And we
man.
know we couldn't ask Mr. NY Kia to come through last second.
Yeah,
Even though he got the link literally every week, but
right. But I
Oh,
appreciate it, kid.
oh. I'm just gonna put my man out there like that.
well, we do it to mess with him. I mean, he showed up for the Madden review or Madden first impression.
Yeah,
So
we did.
he's always welcome, man.
Yeah, he's always welcome. He
Yeah,
came
he's
through
always
the
welcome.
NFL draft episode. We did
Oh
5
yeah,
hours
that
of
was good. That was really good.
That was a real good one. We
I
did
need to go
NFL
back and watch that one.
Yeah, that was a good episode. But kid, man, like I said, man, appreciate you coming on last notice, man. Straight up.
Oh, man, no problem, man.
Yeah, so First and Framerates episode 85, 86 will be Thursday. We're gonna talk about our picks for the week. Who got what right, who got what wrong. We're gonna have a couple other things we're gonna talk about as far as sports and sports gaming. We're gonna lean more towards the sports side when it comes to Thursday. Tuesday is gonna be more of the actual game stuff. So just continue to watch us and catch us on iTunes and SoundCloud. One more thing before I go, I got to do this.
Oh boy.
Catch us. You can purchase all your intros with Intro Champ if you're making videos. Absolutely fantastic place to do. Find your intros and actually use them for your channel. I highly recommend it. Link is down in the description. And if you purchase anything off of that link, it gives us a small little kickback. I made a couple of dollars this week. Great. It doesn't do much, but it helps. Anything else you guys got before we go?
Be advertising, man. Got sponsors now.
Yeah, something like that.
What? No.
Oh, when you get this mattress company, this
I'm so done. Rome, we don't delete your comments, fam. We don't delete your comments.
No, he was talking about Yusuf comments. That's what he was saying. But
oh yeah, I mean, it's not even strong opinions. He's just a troll, bro.
Yeah, he is. We just messing with him, just like we were messing with DJ. What you got, Bill?
Yeah, man. Thanks everybody for coming through. This is really short notice. VF just kind of was like, "Hey, I want to do episodes tonight." I'm like, "Sure."
This was supposed to be a mini episode, but we already promised to try. We already promised to try to do Tuesdays out anyway. So
y'all got the full thing, but make sure y'all are here on Thursday for the actual episode on normal day. We'll have some good topics for you. It's gonna be mostly sports driven. We'll do our picks from last week, and we're gonna do our picks for this week. Obviously, probably talk about the game a little bit since it'll be on. Who's playing Thursday?
Oh, I don't know. We'll figure it out. I mean, Thursday night games are kind of like blind.
Well, either way,
but the flip side of that, though, we can actually do a Thursday pick because of next Tuesday we could do a Thursday pick because
Eagles and the Packers.
You know what I mean? We could actually start doing picks on Thursday or whatever. And we're gonna try to find a way to do that because
they get that hairline right next episode. Hey, look, everybody here's hairline is fine.
Yeah, ours is fine.
Right.
The more important comment was the first podcast he subbed to, so we appreciate that.
Yeah, we do appreciate
dope.
Definitely. What you got, kid?
Oh no, man, I appreciate being on, man. Anytime I want me on, I come through.
Yeah, he
called.
Bro.
Yeah, he called me. The man called me out of nowhere. I was literally playing Borderlands, and he was like, "Yo, man, DJ called out sick." I said, "All right." It's like, so I was like, "All right, man, I don't have no problem." So anytime you want me to come through, I'm here.
Yeah, man, appreciate it, man. So, like I said, man, First and Framerates was still the best, smallest podcast out here, but we're growing, and we're gonna keep giving you guys the best content, the best honest content possible. We're gonna tell you what it is, yay or nay, whatever game, whatever company. We're not corporate slaves. We do our thing out here, and we'll see you guys Thursday. Catch you guys. Peace.
Yogi Yusuf came back right in time for fucking.
I know, right?